What's up, guys? Yo, David. Ticken. What's good? How are y'all? How are all of you? Happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. And Happy New Year's Eve. Unless you live in a part of the world where it's already 2026. In that case, that's awesome. Taken, I don't know what you just said to me. Yeah, I think you are drunk, man. I don't know what the fuck that was. I don't know what you said. Alright. That. I gotta pull up Discord real quick. I'm debating if I should wait for Commander Smushy or just run it. Oof. Bro, it's so cold. Alright. I do have some shit in my watch later that I can lead off with until... Oh, there's some variety shit here. Hold on. The best of Grandpa Buff. 2025. Habitual line crosser. And then the US military's plan to resupply troops from space. We'll watch that, but I'm already going to give you my initial thoughts on that. I think that's stupid. That's just the normal one. Go to... Nope. Wrong one. Okay, there it is. Whatever this is by Commander Smushy. Ugh. Christian, what's good, man? Oh, it's just chilling. Sitting on this fucking heating pad trying to stay warm. It is... I don't even... Will it tell me here on the fucking widget screen? 40. Feels like 31. Fuck, okay, how do I get rid of that? How do I get this off my fucking screen? Okay. Christ. Who requested this? Oh no, wait. Yeah, that's... If you're not a... Christian, if you're not a patron, we're not doing that. That's too long, man. That's way too long. Sorry. What is it that you're changing? Are you the one that did task and purpose? Alright, here's what we're doing. Camo, what's good? God has a funny sense of humor. I know. He gassed Andrew Tate in the second round. I'm sorry, dude. I'm only gonna rag on him for like, I don't know, like one more week, and then I'll forget about it. I'm sorry. Uh. But Sam, what's good? You got some cool stuff for Christmas? I can pretty much guess what you got, man. You got comic book shit. I'm almost certain of it. Or a PC. Or definitely something nerdy, which I'm jealous because I didn't get anything. Okay, let me know when you change whatever it is that you change. Okay, I did want to watch this. This is about two people that I know, and it's by Nikki. Candace Owen destroys this clout-chasing ex-Green Beret. And the crazy part is that I recognize this dude. I've seen some of his videos before. I think his YouTube channel name is like Valhalla something. I don't know. I want to check that out. And then Army Specialist destroyed her career worse than we thought. That might just be a follow-up, and I'm not even sure if I saw the original. Oh, and then I want to watch this too. How this Army soldier ruined his career for social media. But that's mad long. I don't know. I'll probably do that on my own time. I gotta delete so much shit off my watch later. You got socks, pants, and candy? I think the pants is probably the best thing out of those three things you just said. I didn't get anything. I mean, my dad came to visit me, so you can consider that a Christmas present, I suppose. And then yesterday, I went and bought me a phone charger. About it. So. Dude, yeah, I'm running low on socks. Either the fucking dryer eats them, or I misplaced them, or something. And I need more. You changed it? Let me see what you changed it to. I mean, given that Commander Smushy doesn't show up in the next however long. Okay. North Korea's propaganda video of America is hilarious. Lies. You sit on the throne of lies. I'm down to watch this first. Okay. Yo, fucking go. Holy shit. Okay. By Charles, North Korea.
Is that really what they... Wow.
Nobody actually... I guess that is one common misconception that people have about Americans, is they think that... Man, unless you're a fucking rodeo clown in Texas, no one actually wears Star-Spangled Banner clothing. No one is actually Steve Rogers. No one is actually like... I mean, maybe on 4th of July or something like that, but like people think like we always be dressed like that. That's funny. Turn up the volume on myself? What do you mean? I feel like it's good. I've never had a... Did you see how lame New Year was? No fireworks, all AI drones. I sound very quiet? I don't... Do I sound quiet to anybody else? I haven't changed anything on my setup. Hmm. I don't know, man. It might be. Maybe the volume is down. Maybe. Dude, one time I got so baked that I accidentally hit the mute button on the TV when I stood up to go to the bathroom. And then I came back from the bathroom and I sat down. I thought I went deaf. I was that baked. I was that stoned. I was like, hello? Wild time.
Parents, if your child plays Roblox, listen up. You could
Yeah, watch out for these weird ass fucking YouTubers that like kids. They're fucking everywhere. That in Minecraft. Alright, you guys ready? North Korea's propaganda video of America is hilarious. Let's see.
Apparently, this is but
Wait. Hold on. Let me see how okay. I need to move my camera. Can y'all see this black screen? No, I don't need to move my camera. We're in full screen. We're fine. I thought we were in the other view. I'm always mindful of that now because I fucked it up last time. All right, here we go.
life in America is like, according to North Korean regime, 갈수록 강해지는 자본주의의 사회 현실.
Thank you for the
It's like
translation.
the reality of capitalism is getting worse. That's what he says.
How Americans live today.
It's not how Americans live today. It's a 자본주의 현실. 자본주의 is like capitalism. So this title is framing, this is what capitalism looks like. And it's getting worse every day.
Dramatic
You
music.
see that, guys? We're dying of capitalism.
This is how Americans live today. Drinking coffee made from snow and living in tents and buying guns.
When was that made? There's no way that this is what they say America is right now. Good Lord, give us a little... This was us like fucking almost a century ago, but... alright. Jesus.
Living in... Wait a minute.
That's bad. We drink coffee out of snow.
Coffee made out of snow. Well, I mean, there is some parts of America that doesn't even snow. So even if I wanted to drink coffee with snow...
Dog, the only people that drink coffee from snow are the extreme people that live out in the wilderness where it's snowing and shit, and they survive out there. I've seen these TV shows where these fuckers, they'll just... I think Alaska, like the last frontier or some shit, and they just live and survive out there off the land, build their own houses. They probably do actually drink coffee out of snow, but oh man, 99% of the rest of us. Kevin, John, what's good?
No, it doesn't happen. And living in a tent and buying guns, you know, I mean, that's...
Buying guns is true. That's not propaganda, but living in tents, again, it just depends on... It's such a smart... people go camping. We go camping. We live in tents to like go camping. That's what we do.
Like not living in a tent, but buying guns part, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's
I don't think the
absolutely
people who live in tents can afford to buy guns usually.
Right, and I don't think they're even allowed to own one because of their mental health, right?
Well, that's assuming that someone who lives in a tent has mental issues. I don't feel like not every homeless person has mental problems. And just because you live in a tent doesn't mean... I mean, there's people that do that shit on purpose. They just like live the rough life. They may have plenty of money in the bank, but they just be out there. I don't know.
Depending, yeah.
Legally.
To kill each other, especially children.
To kill
Some
each
people
other, especially the children. Oh.
That's what he said we do. I mean, that's not all the way wrong. I mean, we have quite a bit of gun violence in this country. And I mean, We've seen plenty of stories of schools getting lit up. 9 times out of 10, it's by a student, but
Man.
Plain about the guns.
Kat, what's good? Keith, what up?
서방의 여러 나라들에서 집 없는 사람들의 성행. They're saying, oh, there are so many homeless people, and America is just homeless land.
You mean California, not America. But pronounce it correctly. California. Okay? Not America. That's the homeless problem. Fuck out of here.
Like unhoused people's land. That's what they're trying to say.
Living on the streets of modern-day America.
I'm not gonna bullshit. We have homelessness. It's just not like as rampant or everywhere or at every corner like this video's saying.
Trees are full of snow.
The streets are
You'll
full
see
of...
that there are no birds. They've been eaten by the people who live.
We ate the birds.
That's not the translation that I thought he's gonna say at all.
We ate the birds?
That's not. They're not talking about trees nor birds.
Do you know what kind of bad juju you would bring upon yourself if you ate a crow, dog? And a crow is a bird. We ate all the birds, huh? North Korea, we ate every single bird.
At all.
What did they say?
The North Korean state media is just like saying, oh, like even though like it's just so cold and there are people without any houses and there are lines of people, like it's not the translation.
Been eaten by the people who live in these tents and corridors. This man awaits heroin. Their houses blow down very easily.
Yeah, because it's called Oklahoma, Kim, and it's called Tornado Alley. And it's not something that North Korea has to deal with, but it's something that we have to deal with. And some of the most strongest forces on the planet, short of a hurricane, tsunami, earthquake. So, categorically wrong.
It's just, yeah, the translation is really, really throwing me off.
And you Kim wants to sit here and talk about, North Korea wants to sit here and talk about, look how flimsy the infrastructure is, whilst you ignore your very close neighbor, China, and their abomination of infrastructure that they have in their country. But, all right, man. By the way, Happy New Year's Eve to all of you, unless it's already New Year's for y'all.
It's like, what he's talking about. But yeah, basically, because of some accidents and crimes, there are so many people without houses.
And they have to live in tents like these.
Yeah, and because of those crimes, they're just spending winter out in the cold.
Yeah, I spent winter out in the cold one time. I was 12. I was in my backyard with my mother. It was a good time.
This man will show us his tent with pride.
The North Korean state media says, oh, because of the hurricane, there are many people who are also living in the tents. But the translation says, oh, it's like, oh, this man will probably show us his tent.
I wonder if this came out around the time of Hurricane Katrina.
Maybe.
Oh, I see.
There was a lot of shit that was displaced and a lot of destruction, probably.
During the time of Hurricane Katrina?
I wonder, yeah.
Maybe.
He points to...
Which is kind of crazy because, like, that's not something you can control. Kind of how, like, it's outside of Japan's control anytime they get just absolutely fucked by an earthquake and then a tsunami right afterwards, which has happened in recent times. Like, dude.
His items, but the camera notices his roof has fallen down. This is common in modern-day America. The American Red Cross supplies curtains and walls from material from North Korea.
It's like...
You know what's crazy to me is it's crazy to me that... Do North Koreans, are they aware of, like, the world wars at all in any way, shape, or form? Because, like, if I were them, I'd be sitting here thinking, like, okay, they live worse than us, but they participated in a world war and didn't get wiped out completely? They still exist? How do they still exist if they're inferior than us? If they're worse than us? How are they even still here? That'd be my questions, but you can't ask questions in North Korea.
It's like the person who's narrating is just literally translating like what he's seeing, not the actual like the words that have been spoken in the video. He's just like translating whatever he's seeing. Like, oh, there are no birds in America because people have eaten the birds.
Has anyone?
Which doesn't make sense, bro, because if I'm hungry, I'm gonna find an easier animal to hunt than a bird. You know what I'm saying? If I'm gonna waste ammunition or expend life force and energy, one, I'm gonna go after a bigger target than just a fucking bird. And it's just, and if you don't even have a gun or like a bow and arrow or anything like that, you're not catching a fucking bird. That's like trying to catch a squirrel. I don't know, man. Oh, shit.
Again, there are no birds in the trees apart from these.
That's so funny. There's no birds except for these birds right here.
No, it's just like 미국.
These are the birds that like evaded all of the humans trying to eat them. They were like, oh, no, not today, humans.
Like a 미국 중부, it's like a
America.
It's just been snowed a lot. Yeah.
미국.
미국. Hey, good Korean.
Thank you. 해산. 미국.
해산,
죽고
미국.
싶네요.
죽고 싶냐?
Which will be eaten on Tuesday.
Oh,
they are yummy.
Said the birds are set to be eaten on Tuesday. All right.
You can also eat the snow.
And then this whole propaganda thing with the birds, it makes it seem like birds are the only type of animal that exist in America. Like, we don't have squirrels, we don't have raccoons, we don't have horses, we don't have cats, we don't have dogs, we don't have butterflies, we don't have worms, we don't have... I mean, dog. So they're saying, like, yep, they got no birds. Birds is the only thing they had. They don't have it anymore because they fucking ate them all. Yeah. Don't ever go to America. Never leave North Korea. You're going to be going to an inferior country. All right, man. Bet.
The translation just threw me off, like...
And then he said we can eat the snow. Yeah, we eat snow here in America when we're 4. And we're just like, nom, 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 nom. You know? And then we grow the fuck up.
He just says, like, the randomest things. Like, North Korean announcer is talking about how unemployments are rapid in America.
They really monitor you if you're on the country Wi-Fi. I believe it, dude. I've seen videos. This one video came across my feed. It was this guy that acquired smartphones from North Korea. The funniest thing about these smartphones is that if you go to the text messages and you try to text someone, well, one, you can, right? But if you try to send the words South Korea through that phone, it won't even let you. I forgot what video it was. It was very interesting. I watched the video and I was like, yep, that seems about right for a North Korean smartphone, of course. And then people here in the States want to get fucking mad about all kinds of shit. Meanwhile, that's their smartphone. And you know what's funny about the North Korean smartphone? You know what stuck out to me the absolute most? And it's just diabolical, bro. Kim is diabolical. On the North Korean smartphone, they put airplane mode. Knowing good and goddamn well you can't leave the country. It's just like a little teaser, huh? It's like a little, gotta be quicker than that. It's like, Kim, you're such an ass. But anyways.
Whereas, like, in North Korea, there is zero unemployment rate, because if you were to not have a job,
they kill you.
You'll go to jail in North Korea.
Of which there is plenty in the United States.
It's like, hey, we have zero unemployment rate. Yeah, dog, that's because you have forced labor. You can't really use that as a flex when you're...
States. These people lie.
But she didn't say you'll go to jail, right?
No. She didn't say that. But I mean, the reality in North Korea is that, like, everybody should have a job. But she's talking about unemployed, because, like, and proud to have a job, right? Because that's what North Korean, regime is like trying to portray, is that, yeah, look at North Korea. We don't have any unemployment rate. but in America there are a lot like of unemployments. But the translation is just like throwing me off like so hard.
Huddled together with their dead friends in blue body bags,
Blue body bag.
Right.
drinking
Wait, I
coffee cups full of local snow.
No, that's not what the
coffee cups full of local snow.
translation is saying at all. You know what this makes me think of? Like, is this guy British?
Sounds like maybe so.
Yeah. Like, why
UK
is he
maybe?
saying all this kind of stuff? Because, I mean, yeah, sure. Like, North Korea is portraying not just America, but just saying capitalism in general, right? I mean, there are a lot of different countries that have capitalism, and North Korea is just making an example with America. But this person is specifically just adding all this kind of like nonsense, like that North Korean state media is not even saying. He's adding his words.
They are very good friends.
Maybe.
Oh, they're very good friends. Is this some sort of comment?
Are those the blue body bags that he was talking about? So, we just casually sit on deceased people. Oh, yeah, this is Phil. Died of COVID 30 minutes ago, just waiting on the dumps, waiting on the trash truck to come get him. All right.
Comedy right now? It's like looking at these two people and saying, these are best friends.
Yeah.
These are really good friends. Oh, God.
They are together in adversity.
Doesn't look like adversity. They got jackets on.
In other parts
Yeah, so she's like the North Korean announcer is saying that 미국뿐만 아니라 like besides
And it's such old footage of America that they use too.
America, there like in the European countries there are a lot of like poverties like this because of the capitalism.
of America, often disguised as foreign countries in Europe, people live the same terrible life. This man, a former Republican candidate for Oregon, is now having to get coffee made of snow from these trucks.
What's the obsession with the coffee made of snow? I don't.
That's not.
This is just implying that it always snows in America all the time. It never stops snowing. Like every single bit of footage we've seen so far, it's been snowing.
What the North Korean woman is saying at all, but okay. I mean, okay, first of all, like how would this man know that the homeless man on the European street, he's from like a Republican candidate from Oregon?
I don't know.
Because that's what he said, right? But like the North Korean announcer, she wasn't saying
What's great about this is like you don't need to know the language to know that this is all just
that at all.
Many Americans have to live like this.
So North Korean announcer is saying like 250, 250만 명. So like 2.5 million people in the city where 2.5 million people lives, at least like 50,000 are homeless and they have to live in like a low welfare, in living in poverty basically.
Yeah, but they have the freedom to get out of that poverty if they so choose. They have the freedom to go wherever they want, say whatever they want, behave however they want, regardless of their life circumstances. You have none of that in North Korea. This propaganda is just like, it doesn't, but they don't know, bro. They just don't know, so.
Many Americans have to live like this daily
Again, she didn't say Americans, but he
and
said
are
Americans.
entitled to one cup most days. The weather is freezing, but the hot snow
No, the North
The
Korean
hot
announcer is
snow?
saying
Hot
those
snow.
people have to go on the
And how do we make the snow hot, man? Huh? How do we?
street, beg for food, to just survive.
it's nice. That man's taking the blankets while they're looking.
Because if you have what you need to heat the
They are very grateful to their government for these handouts.
Yeah.
Yummy.
The announcer is talking about Romania now, but he's just kind of saying whatever he wants.
사람들이 수위와 굶주림, 그로 인한 각종 질병으로 목숨을 잃는
My question is who is the narrator trying to convince? He's not North Korean.
They enjoy
It's like alcoholism, disease, and people are dying because of alcoholism and disease and those kind of stuff, and drugs.
it immensely.
마자리에서도 집 없는
Meantime,
사람들이
in the major
오복적으로
offices, factories, and railway stations,
Major offices, factories, railroad stations, but remember, guys, drink coffee from snow.
people sit around under expensive adverts for Dell computers,
It's like living in a mansion and still walking 2 miles to use a porta potty. Just doesn't make fucking sense, does it?
사람들을 위한 피난처라는
drinking
것이
snow
이미 차고 넘쳐
from plastic
많은
cups.
사람들이
Yeah.
거리에 으슥한 곳을 찾아
This guy's really into drinking snow.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Really
don't know.
is.
Someone's
I don't-
drinking snow with coffee. What?
I
What's
don't-
wrong with this guy? Oh man, drinking snow.
Talking about.
Why does he keep talking about drinking?
He's got a hard on
snow?
for snow, dude. I don't
People
understand.
pass by, not caring.
집 없는
For they are
사람들이
all in the same
관광객들로 붐비는
situation.
거리들의 대낮에
Yeah, of course people walk by not caring because there's not some fucking tiny dick douchebag forcing you to care, forcing you to be happy, forcing you to pay homage and pay respect every time you see his little wee wee ass.
도 버젓이 누워 있는 실태가
These telephones no longer work.
정부는 속수무책
There is no one to call.
현재
Yeah, I understand that that's the case. Like, if you want to do that, you can, especially if you don't have a coffee maker or something. But the implication that's being made here is that this is the only way we can do it. This is the only way we know how to do it. And this is the only way we physically can make it happen. It's just.
마자리에서도 부다페스트의 만도
Some lucky people are allowed beds and floors indoors.
Yeah, she moved on from like talking about America like long time ago, but the guy in the who's supposedly translating, he's still talking about America.
I think he just made a whole bunch of shit up, dog. Really. And a whole bunch of gullible people will believe it. I guess. All right. We're done with that. I don't need to watch the rest of that. They must have filmed in Minnesota. I don't know. Don't know. That's just funny, though. It really is. You have to lie to your own people about your enemy. Because if your people knew the truth about your enemy, they wouldn't look at you as king anymore. They wouldn't look at you as God. They wouldn't look at you as leader supreme leader, whatever the fuck he calls himself. They wouldn't look at you like that anymore. You've gassed them up so hard into believing that you're the almighty that if they were to get an actual glimpse of this country, it would be like, to them, it'd be the equivalent to them would be us seeing a completely new planet in another galaxy and seeing other fucking beings. Yeah, that would be the equivalent. Me or you going to another galaxy, finding a planet with people and seeing all of that, it would be insane. It would be incredible. It would be something undescribable, right? That's what it would be like for them if they saw this country. If any of those people saw this country, there would be doubt. And I wonder how many of local North Koreans, I wonder how many of them think that they're being lied to. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of stupid ones. Not even stupid. It's just like, it's not even, you're not even dumb. You just don't know. You're just uninformed because you're not allowed to be informed. But I wonder if there's anyone in North Korea that like thinks to themselves, "Yo, I think this is bullshit. I think this guy's full of shit. I think this is flat fucking lies, man. Straight up." They ain't gonna say anything, but I wonder how many of them think it. I don't know. And I have to imagine that you have some that are like so far brainwashed that it wouldn't matter if they saw America. They would just claim that it's the fucking Matrix or something, that it's artificial intelligence. They would never believe it. Oh, they would move to America in a heartbeat. They'd come here in an absolute heartbeat. And then Kim would be left ruling over nobody. That's it. That's why he can't let that happen. I bet you he like sits up at night and he thinks, I wonder if I just didn't force them. I wonder if they would still like me. I have a feeling that's what he thinks about. Because tiny PPS narcissists like him, I guarantee that's what he thinks about. He wants people to love him so bad. He wants his own people to love him so bad. He's like the small, goofy-ass, chubby version of Homelander. Just pathetic little man with a huge ego. That's what it is. Kevin, what's good? All right. See. I don't hate all AI. I hate AI voices. Like if I click on a YouTube short and the very first thing I hear, do you know why? Like you hear that AI voice, whether it be the female or the male voice. As soon as I hear that AI voice, I'm scrolling through shorts, I hear that AI voice, I skip it. I know it's going to be stupid. And even if it isn't stupid, it's probably not worth my time. And it's probably brain rot with extra chromosomes, really, for the most part. So, nope, skip it. However, shit like, I don't know, man. The Bigfoot vlogs, that's a fantastic use of AI. But then there's other shit that it's just like, bro, get that the fuck off my feed, please. So garbage. Wasting everyone's time. Wait, what? I've seen that lady before, the redhead, saying that British weather is more terrible than American weather. Where? What lady? Oh, is it this?
I have a question for Americans, and please just answer it truthfully. Do not worry about offending me. My question for you is, did any Americans, especially growing up as a child or a teenager, wish they lived in the UK?
No.
Be honest, keep it real. Because I would say it...
I'm going to be very honest, and I'm going to keep it real. Growing up, outside of like wanting to travel to other places and just like soak in the culture, and then, I don't know, smoke a little weed, hang out, and then fuck off right back to America. Aside from that, I have never wanted to go anywhere else. Straight up. Why, man? For what?
Is a British phenomenon that we all wish that we lived in America at.
I've never wished I've lived in the UK. I've never been jealous of the UK or Great Britain or any of that stuff. I've never wished that I lived there, ever. At times, I wish that I could live in Australia, but never the UK. For any reason.
At some point, because the movies are all American, the high school seems so cool, you've got nerds, you've got Jolly Ranchers, you've got Buc-ee's, you've got 7-Eleven, you've got Walmart, you've got Target. That is my dream. Literally, my dream date is to go to Target.
I don't know why. It's not that great. What's the... this is not the right one. What was the one that you were talking about? Well, it's gone now, so I'm not even gonna worry about it. All right. I wonder if Commander Smush is here yet, so I can do this one. Not gonna do Vince's though. Okay, but we can do this. Vince, are you here? Fuck me. Oh my Christ. Donut operator doesn't usually give the AI narrated body cam footage channels any views. Yeah, it shouldn't. And I've just seen like way too much AI shit. I hate that voice, bro. I cannot stand it. No, Vince ain't here, but what is Kevin, are you here? Again, Christian, if you want me to do something, find something shorter. Stammer is more hated person here in the UK. Who? I don't know who that is. All right. For all that. I'm about to heat me up some fucking pizza rolls, really. Okay.
No, you are wrong. Everything is going fine with my special military operation. You shut up your mouth.
Dude who's asking Siberian hunters for their shotguns to deal with drones says, what?
Buff!
Oh, the Civil War? Or as I like to call it, the Great American Scrimmage, because nobody else wanted to smoke at that time, so we had to, practice.
Is it illegal in your country for an adult to engage in intimacy with somebody under the age of 18?
On paper, yeah, but it really depends on what island you're staying at and which political affiliation you have.
Where is it all coming from? Somebody call the fire department. We don't have a fire department.
Oh, just relax and take it. You wouldn't have even been able to defend yourself if we had told you we were coming. Just lay down and wait for it, kind of like Russia's mom.
Hey, I heard that.
That's because I said it, you retard-flavored popsicle.
My mother is a great woman, and she's very nice and polite. You stop saying those things about her.
Well, that's one thing we agree on there, Russia, is your mother is a wonderfully nice lady.
Mother Russia.
But I will tell you, knock on the door before you enter, especially if it sounds like I'm fist-fighting a lasagna in there.
What part of inhabited by an uncontacted tribe don't you get, Buff?
Oh, Sentinel
Oh,
Island.
I don't know, the part where I can uninhabit any piece of land I fucking want to?
I think, right?
You seriously need therapy. But fuck you. There you go, beans on toast. You're getting it.
I'm trying my best to keep up with like any and all inside jokes and geopolitical happenings that are going on in this video, but I'm falling very, very short, bro. I'm probably not even going to understand 1% of any of this.
And here Grandpa Buff said you were stupid.
To be fair, I mean, I'm just gonna go all in. I didn't just say you were stupid. I also, might have said you were a shadow of your former self, and then I think I referred to you as like a fish and chips eating surrender monkey, I think. The first step in loud racism is just understanding the facts.
We gotta stop the needless bloodshed.
No, why in the hell would we do that? Every time the Middle East calms down for a little while, it's spooky. It's like weird when people aren't dying in the Middle East. Dear stupid bitch, sorry to hear that your cat is a communist. That's all I got so far.
Stop writing the letter, Buff. America, what happened with Elmo on Twitter? Oh, yeah,
I have no idea.
anti-Semitic Elmo.
I have no idea
Yeah,
what
it
that
got
is.
hacked. Not the best look for Sesame Street.
Oh, that was a hack? Ah, shit, I thought we were just kind of going all in. capitalism and all that, I thought the next thing was going to be Nazi me Elmo. Based buff to the rescue. So basically,
what happened with Elmo?
What I think we should do is anytime we have a shutdown, Congress should be fined. Like,
sorry guys, I'm allergic to Twitter. I don't know what to tell you. I talked to my doctor last week. He said it's a really bad case.
Each of them $10,000 a day until they unfuck this situation. And it doesn't just get rolled over. You can't put it in the budget. They got to pay for that shit out of their personal fucking paychecks, which, by the way, should be withheld while the shutdown is happening. So now it's coming out of all their fucking lobbyists, and it's coming out all their stock trades and shit like that. Look, if stock trading wasn't a problem in Congress, you wouldn't have web pages that are dedicated to following congressional fucking stock trades, okay? I'm just saying. And then...
That's why you should just trade everything that fucking Nancy Pelosi trades, because she's got the inside track.
While it's happening, no Americans pay any taxes. No gas tax, no income tax, no fucking nothing. And it doesn't get rolled over for like later, you gotta catch up on your taxes. No, the government shut the fuck down. You don't get any goddamn money.
And I think that every American could get behind that.
I know, right? And then step 2, the blacks and the Jews.
Are you suddenly coming to the realization that the cartel, if they decide they want a piece, are painfully outgunned?
And I mean, over the last 20 years, we've gotten really good at targeting brown people. Just instead of speaking Arabic, Pashto, or Farsi, they speak Spanish. I live by a certain philosophy, right? There's this great philosopher from the late 20th century who said, bitches ain't shit.
That could have been any number of rappers in the early 90s, but...
Shouldn't be getting killed.
Now, the different colored ones, like the geometry and the squiggle people, those are perfectly fair game.
It's weird. I don't have that problem.
Oh, shit. Did Poland just refer to Middle Eastern people as a problem? Fuck, I'm about to put a Polish flag on my tail and head that way. I have a pressure washer and a can-do attitude. I am gonna have a clean balloon knot. Let you hope.
Don't let Karens here in America know that you don't have that many brown people in your country. Jesus Christ. They'll fucking roast you on Twitter. No one wants that.
That you never have to find out exactly which of us is on top. Why, do you consider yourself a power bottom? Buff! What? Oh, he was making a threat, yeah. Sorry.
No.
Oh, wow.
Wait, that was a threat? I kind of like half-ass heard what he said, but I don't know. No one's actually afraid of China.
Ow. Man, I haven't seen something bomb like that since the Snow White movie.
Oh.
It's fresh, I don't give a shit.
Right now, we're experiencing the largest ever coral bleaching event in world history.
Dude, I saw that. One of you told me to look that up the other day, and it was wild. The ocean was just like period blood red. Crazy.
Do you believe it yet?
Oh, man, so that's what kids are calling it nowadays? Oh, God. Sometimes you just need to learn that it's called
But I thought that was in Australia. I didn't think that was... Or did he say Australia? I don't fucking know.
brown eye for a reason.
How many times have you crashed? About as many times as you've surrendered.
Who the fuck is that?
Dunking on the French. It's our favorite pastime. Oh, hell yeah. Boeing's back in the game. Time to get some of that Peruvian Bam Bam or the fucking... I don't know. Colombian marching powders.
We need someone to fucking run away and cause a diversion. We'll call you. Aside from that... Need to hear anything from the French.
Booger sugar, you know what I'm talking about. The good shit.
It's no big deal. The cost of oil goes up and down. 30% is nothing.
30% is nothing? Dude, we'd be eating our politicians if we hit 30% drop in oil price or in oil revenue in 1 month. Are you out of your damn mind?
Dude, I will say this. If Russia and America switched weather, like... Russia got all of America's weather and America got all of Russia's weather, my ass would be in fucking Russia. Look at all of this land. How many people live in Russia? What's the population? Hey, dog, just pick somewhere. Build yourself a house, you're fucking set. Get yourself some Wi-Fi, and then just try not to piss off Vladimir. You're fine.
30% is nothing. Dude, we'd be eating our politicians if we hit 30% drop in oil price or in oil revenue in...
Our politicians would be eating themselves.
1 month. Are you out of your damn mind? Yeah, hey, maybe we'll get a repeat, Cold War 2.0, and just, watch Russia collapse under the weight of their own failures. Yeah, it won't be too bad this time.
As I dishonor the raptor, for example, by taking an
Who the
intercept,
fuck are you?
I must conduct self-interception to try and restore my family name.
Oh, damn, ritualistic suicide's making a comeback. Didn't see that one
Oh, is that the Japanese?
coming.
Overall,
Yeah, it was.
not the greatest battle plan. Maybe it work for drone. Yeah.
Not the greatest battle plan. Says the guys that just run in with fucking Beyblades. Not even shooting, just
Because a Russian plane wouldn't have crashed.
You know, it's kind of hard to crash a plane when it doesn't fly in the first fucking place there, you salami smuggler. Oh, what? I assume everyone's looking at me because they want me to say something about the blue pills that I take to get it up. I don't. I'm all natural, baby. The only kind of pills I use are the Plan B that I drop in her drink before she even notices. I can't even pull out of a fucking driveway.
Well. It appears that
Buff is on some Bill Cosby vibes with that last statement. You treading some dangerous waters here, Buff. Even someone as old as you can get fucking canceled, my man. Like,
pull out of a fucking driveway.
Well. It appears that...
Was that a drone from what country? From our country? I never seen... Was that the Reaper or the Predator? I don't fuck... It didn't look like...
Aero India is the first place that the American F-35 will show off against the Su-57 from Russia. The world looks at this with anticipation.
I'm not going to make a tech support joke. Well, it's okay that you guys bought a flying computer. Fuck!
Tech support joke, more like a scamming joke.
Japan is superior. We're the greatest. We're going to defeat everybody. Imperial...
Yes? Hello, sir? Do you have any desk? No, man, get the fuck out of here.
...etc., etc., and then they get the sun twice, and now it's like baby metal, anime, Pokemon. It's fucking crazy.
So, somebody was out in the park late at night, and they found what they thought was a body, and we called in the police and crime scene and cadaver dogs and all that. And after 5 hours, we had to call it off because it turned out to be...
So you want to be a software engineer? Go to
A
boot.dev.
dead prostitute?
Make a free account. Right, so
That's always my first guess.
Un sex doll?
I was
oh
so
my
close.
God, who's the gross son of a bitch that figured out that's what it was for?
I was so
God,
close.
if you weren't so fucking reliable, you'd be in the boneyard.
And if you weren't so fucking overregulated, we'd be like colonizing other planets by now.
But it's Germany, so finding a sex doll, that shouldn't be out of the ordinary, right? Depending on how close it is to, like, fucking Amsterdam, I guess.
Let engineers do drugs again. Shit. All I'm saying is that these Houthis had better be able to pull their head out of their ass here real soon. Or they're gonna be negotiating peace through a fucking Ouija board. Ah, kid, so they would take an egg and put it up there, and if it broke, that meant you needed to be worked more. Shit, I really need like some quotation hands to pop up on the screen here.
Would you break an egg?
I've been getting screwed over by the federal government.
Yo, dude, that one was delayed. Negotiating peace through a fucking Ouija board. God damn. Oh, that's like the first one. That was good. Okay.
For 70 years. It'd be like playing cornhole, except the board is covered in hair and callus.
A professor at Brown University being killed is pretty significant.
Oh, Brown.
What happened?
University being killed is pretty significant.
A professor at Brown University was killed. I don't know anything about this. 146 million people in Russia. Oh my God, look at all that space. Look at all that land. We have 300 million plus in this country. And Russia doesn't even have half of what we have. And their terrain is bigger. Dude, Russia's bigger than the US. Like, terrain-wise. But I say this, but I forget about all of the quite possibly uninhabitable fucking places in Russia. Or maybe they are, but you wouldn't be happy the rest of your life. That's for fucking sure. So I don't know.
Oh, Brown University. I got confused when you said the Brown shooter. I was like, that happens all the time. Like 50% of the time.
Have I not paid my debt yet?
Like I said, we're getting there. Not there yet.
Both of you chill out. Buff. There's water under the bridge. They surrendered. Everything's fine.
Ah, come on. But it's the one time a year that I'm allowed to be anti-Japanese. I think that's a thing. Anti-Asian.
No.
Asian phobic.
It's
I don't
not.
know. Whatever the fucking kids call it nowadays. Fine. I won't. But I'll be back April 18th when the Doolittle raid happens. My money's kind of on one of the squiggle people. You know, the ones that are in the Middle East that love their country so much they want to bring it to other countries while running away from what they already had. Crazy idea.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure if this is a racial thing.
It's like a low IQ thing, really. Isn't that funny how that works? Oh, we see it all the time, right? We see these people leave their country, but then come here, become a fucking activist, and start screaming that they want to employ the same things in this country that their country did when those things are the reason they left their country to come to this country. It doesn't make any fucking sense, man. Kind of like the stupid ass Call of Duty players that wanted to go over to Battlefield 6 and make Battlefield 6 like Call of Duty. No, Call of Duty's trash, and y'all are the reason for it. Why would we take your ideas? Why would we employ your tactics? It doesn't work. Anyways.
Thing or not, I'm going to say it because it does make sense.
Fucking nerd ass.
What are squiggle people? Dude, I don't know, man. At first I thought it was Asian, but I can't really put a... I've never heard that slur before. Squiggle people. To be honest, it could be anything. It wouldn't make sense, but I suppose you could call a white person a squiggle person. I don't know what the fuck that would mean, but it sounds offensive, right? I don't... I have no idea. Yeah, I can grab it. Sure. Anti-chop suey. Anti-chop suey just to me sounds like your anti-System of a Down because they have a song called Chop Suey. I don't even think of Asians whenever someone if someone were to say that. But
Learn, you don't.
Arabic. I think it's Arabic. I think it's. But why though? Squig. I don't get it. If he's talking about Middle Eastern people, that still doesn't make sense. I don't know. I'm not hip to that one.
Need a preamble to racism. Fucking spit it out.
I'm sure we can get some targets marked up.
1 little, 2 little, 3 little terrorists, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little terrorists, 7 little, 8 little, 9 little terrorists, all been sent to their god.
Without their virgins, might I add.
'Cause
they only get those versions under specific circumstances, and if we take these fuckers out before those circumstances, I don't think they get them. I think they get them regardless. That's ridiculous, but still.
No. Sweet home in England. Where the skies are gray and everybody smells like poo.
I don't know if the last line was on, but I'll take it.
So let me get this straight. The Navy fired something long, cylindrical, and hard out of a boat. And then later, that went right back into the boat. I want to know, do you think the submarine, took a big breath as it was re-entering? Just, if I told you that orcs populate roughly 13% of Middle Earth, but they're responsible for 50% of the violent crime, wouldn't that be racist?
I hate this conversation so much.
I will say.
No, it wouldn't be racist. You want to know why? Because orcs are green. There you go.
That if my jokes piss off somebody that bad, and God forbid something happens to me, you can absolutely use my death to attack a minority. Buff! What? I'm a weapon of war. I've killed more people than cancer. Not the Clintons, though. They're up by double digits on me. It's quite impressive, actually.
You know, I wonder what administration has the highest body count. Now, that's a video right there. That is a video topic, let me tell you. Wonder... Yeah. I'd like to go even further. Not only what administration has the highest body count, what country has the highest body count? that would just depend on how far back in history we go. But it would be an interesting. Somebody maybe has made a video about that. You know what? Rule 34. Let's look it up. I really didn't know how to type this out, but highest body count by American administration. Of course, I put body count in the title, and it's nothing but whores on my screen. Look at that. What your body count says about you. That you're a hoe, if it's really high. Your body count's 500. Yep, you a hoe. That beauty won't last forever. Sluttiness will. Okay, that's not going to happen. We're not going to find this. At least not right away, and I don't really have the patience. I did not. Okay. Let's see. Go. Nope. No, I don't want to. Vince isn't here yet, so we can't watch that one. All right, there's some stuff I wanted to check out for my watch later. Some military-related videos. What's your recommendation, Ammo? I do want to watch this one that has Candace Owens. Not so much because it has Candace Owens. I think Candace Owens is stupid. But it's military related, and the topic is a ex-Green Beret that I've seen videos by before. Al Bundy's best insults. I don't think. I don't know if. We've done that before in the past. You probably weren't around back then. We have done that before. I don't know if we can get away with that on YouTube at all, because that's a TV show, and even though it's not in its full format, I just feel like it'll register, bro. And that's the type of shit where, like, I feel is Married with Children, right? I feel like that's the kind of stuff where it's not just going to lead to copyright. That's fine, because I can deal with that after the fact. I have a feeling that's going to lead to just the stream getting cut in half. Or the stream getting blocked some way, somehow. I just have a feeling. Maybe on Twitch. We can get away with watching the questionable shit like that on Twitch just so that we don't have any problems here on the YouTube end. So if you want to put that request in the Discord, we'll check that out on Twitch. We can do anything on Twitch, not just music. And Christian, no, your request is too long. Unless you're a patron. If you're a patron, sure. If not, find something shorter. All right. We are going to do this. Okay. This is titled
A big name.
Why?
You put
bro?
Candace.
Why? Okay. This is titled Candace Owens Destroys This Clout Chasing Ex-Green Beret by Nikki MG TV. Yeah, I recognize it. Yeah, Valhalla TV or something like that. I recognize him. I've seen videos by him before, and nothing ever stood out to me as... Granted, I've only watched like a very small handful of his videos, and I don't keep up daily. Everything seemed above board when I watched. Nothing really seemed to stick out or be funky about anything that he was saying, but again, We're about to find out. Of course, yeah, Camo, send them. I want to check this out though.
So I'm probably gay. We got death threats. No drinking tonight. I'm gay and my wife's a stripper. Probably true.
Valhalla, and it was kind of said to me in a way that was like, if you don't kind of take this rope, like, and jump off of this Mitch train, like, what's going to come out about Mitch is going to be explosive and you're going to, like, go down on the ship. That's essentially the vibe that Valhalla was giving. First, he said stolen valor. Like, he was never a Green Beret. I was like, he absolutely was a Green Beret. I sent that up the chain in the government. Like, that's just not true. And it felt to me like they were clearly being quite aggressive with Ian on the phone, demanding to speak to me, demanding I allow them onto my platform, talking about his, like, ex-wives. I was like, I don't care about any of this.
Here we go.
I'm confused.
They say history does not repeat itself, but it does rhyme sometimes. Now, we're going to get into the Green Beret, or I'll just use ex-Green Beret, because I don't think anyone's going to claim him part of the community after a lot of what's happened. Now, we need to dig into Nate, a.k.a. Nate Cornholio, a.k.a. Valhalla VFD, as we've done in past videos, VFD. Because the story does not stop, as he's been exiled from the military veteran community by some of the top people. Now, we did not end up here just by happenstance, and it
How? But again, I never
is by Nate's own doing. Throughout the story, we're going to cover the repeated use of infiltration, exploitation, and then finally the collapse of any trust that he's ever gained as he flip-flops in every sphere he's ever in. Now, only within the past 6 months, I was talking about Valhalla VFT and talking about the misuse of FOIA documents. We're going to talk about how he's used people such as Tim Kennedy for leverage, and actually maybe befriended at one point Tim Pool, which, by the way, befriended at some point and now is bashing him.
Okay, this is what happens on YouTube when channels start to die, and your own individual content starts losing viewership. What you do is you try to drum up beef with a big name. You put Candace Owens in your YouTube video title. You attack Candace Owens. Why? Because Candace Owens' name garners all the views. I know. I've done it before myself.
No. Not before. That's all you do. No shame, man. Get it. Hustle. Do it, but don't do it at the cost of sounding and looking like a hypocrite.
Okay.
So this is where it kicks off with the Candace Owens situation, because it appears that there was a tip or hotline email that essentially she received about this Fort base where they saw Erica Kirk, and kind of diving into, was there some conspiracy around Charlie Kirk's death and things like that. I don't want to hold this up. Watch your clip from the live.
Totally freaked as in, like, very concerned, because obviously, like, I have a relationship with Ian Carroll, and to some degree he respects Valhalla. And he's like, look, I have this friend who's in the military. He has a YouTube channel, and he basically runs me through, and he's, like, basically saying that he wants to talk to me. And it was kind of said to me in a way that was like, if you don't kind of take this rope, like, and jump off of this Mitch train, like, what's going to come out about Mitch is going to be explosive and you're going to, like, go down on the ship. That's essentially the vibe that Valhalla was giving to Ian Carroll, and basically, like, kind of demanding to get on the phone with me. And I was like, and then he starts talking about, first he said stolen valor. Like, he was never a Green Beret. I was like, he absolutely was a Green Beret. I sent that up the chain in the government. Like, that's just not true. And it felt to me like they were clearly being quite aggressive with Ian on the phone, demanding to speak to me, demanding I allow them onto my platform, talking about his, like, ex-wives. I was like, I don't care about any of this. And I said to Ian, this seems to me like they're trying to distract me with stupid stuff. Like, if he has something that is concrete that, like, Mitch somehow defrauded me or lied and did, like, definitively was not a Green Beret, then please just have him email it to me.
Okay, I understand what's happening now. So Mitch is another Green Beret that is in, for lack of better words, business with Candace some way, shape, or form. And then Valhalla's like, nah, he's not a Green Beret, blah, blah, all this shit. And she's like, yeah, he is. We vetted this dude. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And he gets angry. I don't know why. isn't the whole point of like calling someone out and you get verification that they are what you thought they weren't? Shouldn't it be over after that?
And I said, and if he emails that to me, I will deal with it immediately. And I also made it clear to Ian that, because they were like, oh, then like she could get in trouble for fraud because she raised money for this guy and he wasn't even like a Green Beret. I was like, first off, he never asked me to raise money for him. So the idea that he was doing this to defraud me for money, that came out naturally when I was live. I said I would do a give, send, go, because I said people were going to start digging up things. Like I just had a feeling like I thought it would be other people, but I just felt like, oh, let's raise money for him. He had a tough life, whatever. And I had that court paperwork of what he was going through. So that was natural. And not only that, but the very next day, which I will show on my show this week, Mitch sent me an email the day after I started the Give, Send, Go. The morning after, he sent me and Skylar an email and said, thank you so much for raising money, but I do not want to accept this money from you. And he was very self-deprecating. He was like, I'm just a fat, ugly man, and I just wanted to help, you know, and I don't deserve this. Like, I don't deserve this from the public. And then I called him and I was like, you know, Mitch, this is kind of stressful. Like, I don't want to figure out how to like give people back all this money. And he was like, how about this? If the tip that I gave you proves fruitful, like if it's actually Brian Harpole or if it's Erica, then I will take the money. Otherwise, I don't want it. So he was never trying to get money from me. That whole, he's a fraud, he was trying to steal, like none of that is real. It's just completely made up. And again, I will drop the receipts of exactly when he emailed me the morning after.
We're getting somewhere, I think.
So from all that stuff with Candace Owens, again, he's pushy, trying to get on her platform, show whatever he can, just like he did with some other things where he claims he's higher than he actually is in some of the latter of his information. Now, does this sound familiar to you of something I talked about only a couple months ago? The John McPhee situation where he had the FOIA documents, which, by the way, were not FOIA'd, and Nate will not actually confirm that they were because he's too scared, because he won't admit that he got the documents from a bitter ex-wife, which, by the way, he also got this document or these...
I think I watched that video. The video, maybe? I don't know. I don't know if it was by... It was a video on McPhee, but I don't think it was by Valhalla. I'm not too sure.
Domestic violence things to try and prove against this person that could have some linkage or understanding if there was a true actual inside job against Charlie Kirk, including Erica Kirk, his wife, which would be insane. But the fact that like Valhalla's trying to discredit this, I'm just like, we don't care about domestic violence at this point because someone was killed. And because of this, we've seen some of the top-tiered people in the military sphere that have said he needs to keep his business out of this.
How many people did you see that came from our backgrounds or peripheral backgrounds that started putting out the most bullshit information around that particular event?
Droves.
Yeah.
Are they talking about the Charlie Kirk thing? Maybe.
Why?
Yeah.
Because it grew listener base. It grew subscriptions. I'm sitting there watching veterans talk about the ricochet off of his body armor and how I'm like, dude, you can see his nipples. He's like, and then people, millions, you know what I mean? So why did they do that? They did that because that's what they were going for, was the engage. And I'm not here to judge that, but
yeah, I read a comment on a video not too long ago that just like rang very, very true, and it resonated with me. And someone said, I miss the days when our silent operators were just that, silent, really, for the most part. There was always a mystique. There was always some mystery behind special operators, but now they all have podcasts. Now they're all influencers, so you get to peek behind the curtain, and it doesn't always look very good, does it? For the most part. Because, again, I know that we serve our country, but we're all not the best people.
let's also not put lipstick on a pig. Do that if you want to, but don't lie to me about what it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
If that's how you want to grow your channel that way. But to me, I was a little bit shocked by the number of people that were putting out information that I would consider to be demonstrably false, and also for any level of critical thinking.
You tell him that you don't watch the news. That's it. Tell him that tell him that you're way too busy and have too much important shit in your life to do that. Tell him you got bills. Tell him you got a job. Tell him you got people in your life that need something from you, and just sitting in front of the fucking TV, watching CNN, watching some fucking middle-aged white lady tell you how to feel and what to do and what to be afraid of is just not worth your time and not conducive to your mental health. That was a lot, but in a roundabout way, just say that.
False. And they were also rushing to make assumptions, which is something that we were taught not to do. You play the real world as it's presented to you, not what you want it to be.
So Nate makes an announcement. He's going to be considered a ballistics expert on the InfoWars channel with Alex Jones. And this is what he says.
All right, everybody. I will be on Alex Jones' show tomorrow at noon Central Time. We're going to be talking about the ridiculousness of the FBI story and Charlie Kirk's Man of Steel neck that nobody believes. All right. See all that. I'll give you a link in the story.
Now, you also have to check out this clip of his own backyard experiment.
I never got into Charlie Kirk conspiracies because that just seemed like a... Bro, I saw it. We all saw it. What's the fucking conspiracy? It was in 4K. We saw blood come out of this dude's fucking neck. What's the goddamn conspiracy? He got hit with a bullet. But I don't even understand.
You can see the cow neck vertebrae stood no chance. Ripped in half, and as you can see, even clean through, damage straight through the cardboard.
Are you doing what? Are you trying to replicate what happened to Charlie Kirk in this video? Are you trying to do the same thing that Brennan Herrera did with his video about JFK? Maybe? I don't know.
Again, and you can see how thick this bone is, guys. It's almost 2-inch thick. Straight through. No problems.
Dinner is served.
Seriously? Chicken and rice again?
I don't know. I don't know.
Bro.
What?
I don't know
It's
where
healthy.
we're going.
Literally everyone.
Shut up, bitch.
So yeah, doing backyard experiments with your pseudoscience, no idea of any physics or any degree in any mathematics of any kind.
Master's degree in business administration. Oh, we're on it, bro. Look at this.
To talk about the kinetic nature of a round entering, exiting a body, other than you have shot rounds at people, I assume, as a Green Beret at some point, does not make you a ballistics expert.
Yeah, no.
And let's start off where I left off last.
I was gonna ask that, like, what makes him a ballistics expert, right? And he pulled out some degree that was like in business and in something else, but that's not ballistics. And just because you've fired a weapon hundreds, if not thousands of times, it doesn't make you an expert on ballistics. I hope that's not where he's coming from.
Time, and that's because Valhalla VFT was like a little puppy dog with his tail between his legs and found out he needed to leave the community of the military vet bro space because essentially nobody wanted him anymore, and he was now pulling at strings to kind of throw anyone under the bus, and I exposed that. But now he's being exposed again. I was the only person willing to call him out from what I remember about the military sphere of the vet bro drama and the falsehoods that he tried to spread there. Now, when you go in the political sphere, there are a lot more people with a lot more ammunition to come after you, and it appears they're going after him personally. For example, this Twitter account by Project
Hold on. Valhalla VFT exposes massive attacks Candace for platforming abusers while his own wife was a stripper.
Constitution says, expose Valhalla VFT.
That doesn't... It's so weird. Those two things don't correlate to one another, but I get it. It's an expose, whatever.
AKA Nate, exposed as a massive hypocrite. Attacks Candace for platforming abusers while his own wife was a stripper. Nate is the retired Green Beret behind Valhalla channel on YouTube, is going scorched earth on Candace Owens for interviewing a whistleblower with a troubled past, alleged domestic issues. Now, does that...
I mean... It's like, attacks Candace for platforming abusers, blah, blah, going scorched earth. on Candace for interviewing a whistleblower, all this stuff. You know, it's funny. Like, why focus on Candace when Joe Rogan has interviewed a whole bunch of fucking idiots that are verified idiots, and he acts like they're not idiots? Case in point, Terrence Howard. But that Joe Rogan's too big for you to swing at, so you go for Candace, which I think Candace is too big for you to take a swing at as well, even though I think that she's also an idiot in her own right. But in this case, I don't really feel like she's in the wrong. I think you're just mad that you wanted to go on her podcast with a whole bunch of bullshit ideas and bullshit opinions. She saw right through it and she said no. You actually would have had a better chance at getting onto Joe Rogan, because Joe Rogan likes to bring in stupid ass people and then be like, oh, wow, man, you've really thought about this, huh? No one's ever thought about it like this before. I think you're onto something. It's like the dumbest shit. I can't even stomach to listen to Joe Rogan anymore, because all I see is just like him platforming morons and then being like, oh, wow, you really know what you're talking about. It's fucking crazy.
For interviewing a whistleblower with a troubled past, alleged domestic issues. Now, does that sound familiar? It does sound familiar. He is like, I am the token protector of...
Yo, SAS, what's good? And man, as far as like what I want, I just want like... I want the next 30 years of my life to be better than the first 30 years of my life. You know what I mean? That's what I want for 2026 going forward.
Children and women. Now, obviously, that is like saying the sky is blue. Everybody should want that. And that's not really a great stance for Nate to have, as his falsehood came after his fellow Green Beret, and then on top of that, we can't forget old Mike Glover. You remember when Nate, Valhalla VFT, decided to sit there and back up Mike Glover because he's a Green Beret and those allegations of domestic violence? And he said in a comment he backpedaled, and I found that and dug that up. But Nate's never actually made a follow back up around that, because he does whatever he needs to do to be the slithery snake through the grass. They continue to say he's demanding the shutdown of the GoFundMe, return the money to victims' quotations, and basically cancel the guy, all while claiming moral high ground on abuse. But hold up. Receipts from 2017 show Nate's then-wife Brittany openly promoting VIP lap dances and private treatment at Club Rogue, a Portland strip club. She was posting lingerie, champagne popping, full stripper promo mode.
Yeah, I just like don't lend any kind of... That's all well and good and everything. He's demanding the shutdown of the GoFundMe, return the money to victims, and basically cancel the guy. Well, here's the thing. If there's fraud, then for sure. Then whatever. But what you're saying about Nate, I'm not defending him here. It's not illegal. He's going after you for what seems like fraud. But then you follow up like, how dare you come at us for fraud when, and what you should have said was, when you've laundered money before. But no, that's not what you said. You said, how dare you accuse us of fraud when your wife's a stripper? Again, those two things don't correlate. They just don't make any fucking sense. One is a crime, the other one isn't. It's not illegal to marry a stripper. It's also not illegal to be one. So it just seems so petty coming from the other end when you could just ignore Nate, really, at the end of the day.
Show Nate's then-wife Brittany openly promoting VIP lap dances and private treatment at Club Rogue, a Portland strip club. She was posting lingerie, champagne popping, full stripper promo mode. Nate's calling out Candace for associating with someone accused of mistreating women while married to a woman literally selling her body for cash in clubs. Talk about hypocrisy. And the rumors, old comments accuse Nate of a lavender marriage, cover to closet gay/bi lifestyle. Pics from 2017 show him super touchy with trans/gay friends, arm around waist, looking like he's about to kiss one. Who knows a drag queen? Portland pride parades, Halloween couples costumes, wife making out with women, bi vibes, ? And him heart reacting to gay accusations. Plus his dad, Peter Steven Carnaccia, is a
None of this says anything. You haven't debunked Nate, which, I mean... Sure, he's probably wrong, but you haven't actually said anything in any of this. All you've done is like, oh, well, Nate's just gay, and like he married a stripper, and he hangs out with like people with different color hair. And have you seen his friends? Have you seen his car? Have you seen his hair? It just reads like a 16-year-old wrote this shit. That's just me, though.
Time government lawyer in Springfield, Oregon. Motive for attacking Candace when she digs into deep state/Fort Huaca stuff. Nate preaches zero tolerance for toxic men, but his circle and past say otherwise. Judge yourself. Screenshots attached.
Hold on. Wait, okay, we're still in the video. Video called Fort Bragg Cartel. What? Dude, first off, I didn't even know that's what that meant. A lavender marriage is you getting married for the sake of covering up the fact that you're gay? I had no idea that was a thing. I don't know what I'm looking at. Who am I looking at? Is this his girl? Say? Is this his Instagram? I don't know what I'm looking at.
Lesser clip.
Okay, I'm not even sure if I want to finish it now. I'm not even sure if I want to finish it now. It's like, oh, it seems so childish. Either just tell Nate or ignore him. You're getting this worked up over a... I mean, granted, if homie's moving like a snake, then he's moving like a snake. I get it, but, like, this response to Nate is the most cringe shit. Look at your friends, look at the people you hang out with, look how you dress, look at your hair. It's just like... Bro, either provide receipts and facts as to why he's fucking wrong and move on, or just shut the fuck up. Whoever is in charge of speaking on Candace's behalf, or whatever this campaign is, or who's directing this campaign towards Nate, y'all fucking suck, man. That's cringe. Terminated. Thank you so much for the 5. New Fat Electrician video? Yeah. I guess we can run that after this, depending on how long Camo's video is.
And obviously, women can do whatever they want for their jobs. That's not my stance. I'm reading these from other people's outrage to kind of cover the story. But they do make a valid point as the hate towards Nate, because he is able to use these arrows. But for some reason, if we talk about Nate's wife, as he is in the political commentary sphere, where now people are playing with gloves off, it is interesting. Now, this person, Mr. Let's Go, says, here's my issue. If a man is getting called out for abusing women, what does someone's wife not getting abused have to do with abusing women?
That's what I thought too. That's what I was like. You're getting he's accusing you of something, but then your response is, it just didn't make any sense.
If Ahala didn't abuse his wife, what does her being a stripper have to do with anything? And the person with the original post says, this person says counter argument, what does Mitch's past have to do with this fort? Now, it is interesting because painting yourself in more the right sphere, let's be honest with this, America first, whatever else, riding the coattails of Nick Fuentes and trying to throw anyone's name out there essentially to get some kind of influence or some kind of likes on your video or whatever. It is interesting that you can think you can play in that realm, but you having a wife that did that, that is not the morals that people are going off of. I'm just letting you know right now. You got to realize people are going to come after you. Now, let's be honest. This is something...
I mean, as long as he's not butthurt or mad or like losing his mind over people coming after him in that way, then fine. Let the shit flinging continue. But he needs to know that he can't get mad because he's also casting the same kind of fucking rocks
that Nate has essentially done over and over again. He claims, I am all for accountability. I'm all for veterans and Green Berets being held accountable. But that's not true. And just like it's not true that he thinks all women and children should be protected, because obviously he would devour some of the things that he's come across and backpedal and at least make apologies or certain things as he finds out more information. I understand these are not fixed stamps in time. However, if you're going to be in this field and say that this is what you stand by, I'd expect you to actually follow through with that. Now let's dive into the Valhalla VFT photo op curse, as apparently climbing the social ladder is more important than anything else for Nate. Because apparently, if you take a photo with Nate, you will become an enemy of Nate. And that is the ego that is out there.
Really?
Now, let's be fair. He has a photo with Tim Kennedy, which he then made over probably 20 videos against him, which are like, wait, I thought you guys were part of the same brotherhood. Couldn't we handle this not on social media? Nope, not the way it was. Now let's dive over into the political commentary, where this photo op curse continues again, as he had photos of him and one of the founders of Black Rifle with Tim Pool. Now, it is no secret that he did come after Tim Pool and tried to act like he was higher than, saying Tim Pool's views have pretty much dropped. So what is this? The same playbook every single time where you get the endorsement or a photo op with somebody?
I think that's it. All right. I'm done with that. All right. I got the gist of it. I mean, not the insane fall off that I was thinking. You know, usually when someone gets exposed, it's followed by some kind of like meltdown, followed by a descent into madness and obscurity. Only time will tell for that last one, the obscure part. But yeah, that wasn't it seemed like a nothing fucking sandwich, really. It's just shit flinging back and forth, like nah, yes, huh, nah, yes, huh. That's, had I known that's what it was gonna be, I would have never clicked on this video. But that's my fault, because this was my choice. Commander Smushy, what's good? Is it cold? Yes, very. Very, very cold. To the point where I cannot fucking stand it. I don't even have Helldivers, man. I've never played it. I heard it's good. I just... Tell you, man, that movie's gonna fucking blow. It's got Andrew Schultz in it. That's like any movie that has Jared Leto is gonna fucking suck. But hey. I gotta do Commander Smushies. I was wanting to do yours at the very beginning, but you weren't here. Here. I have to do this first, guys. This is a patron request. Oh, it's not even that. It's not even all that long. And then Camo, I'll knock yours out. And then Terminated, I will get with you when I'm done, because I refuse to watch this if you're not here. That's if we get to it. Meet the Whiskey Charlie 135 Romeo, Constant Phoenix, Nuke Sniffer, Military Aviation. Does this thing drop nukes?
The WC-135R Constant Phoenix Atmospheric Collection aircraft supports national-level consumers by collecting particulate and gaseous effluents and debris from accessible regions of the atmosphere in support of the Limited Nuclear Test Ban Treaty of 1963.
It does fucking what?
By collecting particulate and gaseous effluents and debris from accessible regions of the atmosphere in support of the Limited Nuclear Test Ban Treaty of 1963.
So it's like a flying Roomba? Well, it may have other features, but that particular feature, that's like for radiation. So if you had, so let's say you had a nuclear reactor that was melting down and you wanted to mitigate radiation, you would just take this aircraft and just fly around the area? That's actually insane. You were a mechanic for this shit?
The aircraft is a modified KC-135R platform. The Constant Phoenix's modification...
No, it is for finding the radiation. Oh. I thought this thing was sucking in radiation and just like transforming it into... I don't know, I'm stupid. Got it.
...are primarily related to its onboard atmospheric collection suite, which allows the mission crew to detect radioactive clouds in real time. The aircraft is equipped with external flow-through devices to collect particulates on filter paper and a compressor system for whole air samples collected in holding spheres. The cockpit crew is from the 45th Reconnaissance Squadron at Offutt Air Force Base, Nebraska, and special equipment operators are assigned to Detachment 1, Air Force Technical Application Center at Offutt Air Force.
Dude, this plane's expensive. This plane is expensive as fuck. There is a lot of tech on this plane. Lord.
Space. General Dwight D. Eisenhower commissioned the Constant Phoenix program on September 16, 1947, when he charged the Army Air Forces with the overall responsibility for detecting atomic explosions anywhere in the world. In September 19...
So that's what it's for.
1949, a WB-29 flying between Alaska and Japan detected nuclear debris from Russia's first atomic test, an event thought not possible until mid-1950. Beginning in August 1950, WB-50...
Dude, they detected... That was in 1950. They did... That's crazy. I thought that this was just like brand new to modern times. They detected a nuclear explosion in the 50s. Imagine what this technology is going to be able to do in the year 3000. If we even make it that far as a human, as a fucking species.
The aircraft were converted for the air sampling mission over a 2-year period. WC-135 aircraft began replacing the WB-50s in December 1965 and became the workhorse of the atmospheric collection program. Air sampling missions were routinely conducted over the Far East, Indian Ocean, Bay of Bengal, Mediterranean Sea, the polar regions, and off the coasts of South America and Africa. The WC-135W played a major role in tracking radioactive debris from the Soviet Union's Chernobyl nuclear plant disaster. Currently, the air sampling mission supports the Limited Nuclear Test Ban Treaty of 1963.
I gotta hear that one more time.
Sampling mission supports the Limited Nuclear Test Ban Treaty of 1963, which prohibits any nation from above-ground nuclear weapons testing. WC-135s are currently the only aircraft in the inventory conducting air sampling operations. Thank you for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this.
I never knew that this plane existed. And it's the only one that we have in our arsenal. Maybe it's just that good and we don't need to stack them like that. We just need a few of these things. There's no guns on it. I don't doubt it has any offensive capabilities. If this thing ever got in trouble, it would be fighter jets coming to save it. So yeah, you don't need to mass produce these. In my opinion, you just need a couple of good ones that can cover a lot of ground. I'm sure these can. Oh, the last video. Oh, this isn't. This is one of my favorite parts of being on a plane, is where you're not high enough to where you can't recognize anything, but you're low enough to where I can see that farm. This is like the most fun of flying for me, is being at this height. So like, I don't know, between 45 seconds and 2 minutes after takeoff, most fun. 45 seconds and 2 minutes before landing is like my favorite parts of flying. When we're just up there, so boring. I don't even bother looking out the fucking window. I'm just like, well, I'm here. 3 more fucking hours of this shit. But black engines are a different plane. Oh, I thought that it was gonna show the same footage. Yo, no way, this has gotta be clickbait. Lies.
What? That word used to mean something.
The R301 in all of its glory, or is that not? Nah, that's the car. What the fuck am I talking about? About to find out. Nah, this is fake as fuck. I can just tell. Because there's no way in shit. If this was real, it only has 6,000 views. Never mind. That is clickbait. What was alright, you said you requested a short? Where is it? Where'd you put it? Is it in... Where's it at? The F-47. This is everything we know. F-47? Yeah, excuse the shit out of me, but I thought that the most... We don't go in order with these numbers? I guess not. Because I feel like we jumped from the F-22 to the F-35 with nothing in between. How do they even how do they even pick the numbers for these jets? You might know, Commander Smushy. How do they pick the numbers for the jet? How do they decide what it's going to be? F so-and-so. How do they... Obviously, F is a constant. That never changes in that variable, but how do they choose the numbers? That thing looks cool as fuck, though. If that's what it's going to look like. It's probably just a concept photo. You said you put it in the Discord? Where is it? What's your name in the Discord, Camo? Is it Camo? Oh, you didn't put it in the Discord. I'm sorry. All right, well, just give me the name of it. What is it? Oh, it's midnight in the UK. 7 p.m. here. Got about like 5 hours. Oh. I've seen this, but I mean, if you want to watch it again, yeah. Charlemagne gives like the realest answer ever. Do you want to watch? I mean, I've seen it. I already know. You can watch it if you want. It's not that long. It's up to you though. I've seen this. The number is just design numbers. So 23, 34 were made official designs but not produced. Yeah, I do like this clip, which it's like it's very rare if I like anything that has Charlemagne in it. But this is one of those clips where I think it was hilarious. If you got another one, let me know. All right. Christian, did you ever request something else? Yay? Nay? For a YouTube series? What kind of series? Like, I don't think I would get a block or a strike like for Battlefield Friends. If that's what you mean by YouTube series. It would just be a copyright claim. That's fine. I don't give a fuck about that. I never monetize my streams after the fact anyways. But we have to watch this Fat Electrician video if Terminated's still here. Terminated, are you here? This video's so long, man. It's a whole hour. You're here? Alright. Well, gather your request for the YouTube series stuff, Commander Smushy. We're gonna watch Fat Electrician. I like watching Fat Electrician, man, but just not when it's a whole fucking hour. I might make a whole separate ass fucking... Oh, the new Fat Electrician video. Bet, I'd rather do this than... I mean, I do want to do that, but it's so long. Might as well watch a movie. Yeah, because patrons can request stuff longer than 30 minutes, but Terminated always goes overboard.
Build a website you love.
If Terminated could have it his way, I'm sure he'd have me here watching documentaries. 3.5 hour goddamn documentaries. I'm almost certain of it if I let him have his way. I'm doing this one, man, because this one's shorter and I'm hungry. And you took forever to get here. Had you been here at the beginning of the stream, I would have ran it. Wouldn't have been a problem. Alright. The 10 days that saved him... Yo, before I even do any of this, I'm gonna go smoke. I'm gonna heat up some fucking pizza rolls. If y'all are down to watch this, awesome. If not, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a fantastic new year. But, you gonna go outside? I'm gonna let this dog out too. So... Give me a second. Yeah, I hear you. Stop. Can you stop? Stop. Girl. Pest. So much fucking scrolling. Wow, I don't have a volume button on my keyboard. Really. Sorry, guys. I think I have a goddamn volume button on my keyboard, I don't think. Alright. I'll be right back. Oh, please. We're not starting yet. I'm waiting on these fucking pizza rolls. Terminated. On the next YouTube stream, what I'm gonna do, dog, I'm gonna go ahead and run that hour-long Fat Electrician video. That'll be the first thing I do. And if you're not here, you can watch it back. I have to do it that way because, man, whenever I go live and we get close to like the tail end of streams, and then you pop in talking about let's watch an hour-long video, I don't even want to, man, to be honest. So on the next one, when I go live, it'll be the first thing I do, knock it out, and then we can get to doing everything else, if that sounds like a deal. Alright. About like, well, whenever I finish those pizza rolls, I gotta go let Nova in, which... Bro, it's so cold, but she doesn't give a shit. I feel bad for her, but every time I go out there to check on her, she's having the time of her life. Playing Destiny Rising, getting ready for the raid. You better catch the fuck up. Because if I bring you into my fire team and you cause us to wipe 3 times, I'm keeping count, Terminated. You're getting the boot. Because just about everyone that I run with, they got maxed out everything. Alright. We'll start this. The 10 days that saved America. Washington crossing the Delaware. You know, for those of you that don't know, for those of you that are not keen or hip, or maybe you just don't care, or you don't keep up, there is going to be a movie about George Washington coming out very soon in the near future. It's called Young Washington. You get to see, basically, you get to see George Washington before he was the guy, you know, before he was the president with the gray hair and the wooden teeth and all that stuff, the legend, right? You get to see him in like, I want to say his mid-20s, very early 30s, I feel. Or maybe even younger than that, because I don't know. It's very interesting. I may watch it. Certain scenes in there that historically look appealing. Okay, here we go.
Ah, yes, my favorite Christmas story. Today we're talking.
Yeah, dude, I got Korean ramen noodles in the pantry. I don't feel like making shit right now. This was the easiest thing.
About George Washington crossing the Delaware. Yes, like the painting. We've all seen the painting. We've all seen the internet memes like America will cross a frozen river on Christmas to kill you in your sleep. Haha, that's funny. What's not funny is the fact that everybody knows the painting, but almost nobody knows the full story.
It's a metaphor.
I get it.
But that actually happened, though.
And the reason that's a tragedy is because while the painting is cool, the painting doesn't convey the message that Washington didn't just cross the Delaware River while it was frozen. He crossed it on 3 separate occasions, handed out 3 separate ass whoopings, and saved the entire American Revolution. And it is probably the 10 most important days in American history.
Do you know how badass you gotta be to cross a frozen river and then deliver an ass whooping? Do you have any idea how non-motivated I would be for just about fucking everything after crossing a frozen river? truly different back in those times.
And we're going to get to all of it right after word from our sponsor. This video is brought to you by Supremacy World War III, a free online military strategy game where you can play against
Commander Smushy, if you're still here, Commander Smushy, if you're still here after this one, I'll do yours.
other people. You can pick your country and then go to war with the rest of the world, or they have America only mode where you can pick a state inside the United States and go to war with all of the other states,
That's
which
hilarious.
is usually what I like to do. I like to play Iowa because I'm from Iowa, and then I like to attack Minnesota for obvious reasons.
I would play Georgia and attack California all day, all time of day. I log in the game, I'm attacking California. That's it. The whole time. That's the only thing I'm attacking. I'm spamming. Just because I can. That'd be a fun time.
No, it's not banter.
It's not banter, not now.
But lately I've been playing as America, and my opening attack is obviously against the British because it's December and nothing makes me want to watch The Grinch and cross a frozen river on Christmas to fight British people like the holiday season. But it gets even better because if you use my link down below, you're going to automatically unlock a bunch of freebies, including a special weapon, the railgun. Which, I mean, let's face it, now we're just playing on easy mode. We already beat the British with muskets in Long Island. They've lost.
The irony. It's like YouTube knows that Fat Electrician did his ad, now they're gonna do their ad. But hey, that's good. Do them back to back. Get them out of the fucking way. I gotta go back. Now that I'm watching this video, I actually am kind of excited for the new George Washington movie.
Army and things are not going well. They have suffered loss.
By the way, Commander Smushy, have you watched the movie Warfare? Do you like combat movies, war movies, stuff like that? I scrolled past it 2 nights ago. I scrolled past it and landed on It, Chapter 2, but I think I might give it a go. Maybe. I don't know. Movies that intense, it just gives me anxiety these days.
After
Most
loss
days.
after loss at the hands of the British. They've lost New York. They've lost Long Island. They've lost Fort Washington. They've
Like, dude, I watched the movie Outpost, and I don't even remember breathing throughout the entire film.
lost Fort Lee, and they are now
You haven't
being
seen it?
driven out of New Jersey. All that remains of the Continental Army at this point is about 2,400 men. They are beat up, they are freezing, they are starving, and they've lost almost all of their supplies in their previous losses, and they are now being forced to retreat across the Delaware River into Pennsylvania to desperately try to stop the British from taking Philadelphia. And if that wasn't bad enough, the army is about to not exist because on December 30th at midnight, all of the enlistments for all of the men in the Continental Army expire, and most of them are probably going to go home because they're tired of getting their asses kicked, which means the American Revolution is going to dissolve and it's game over. We remain British forever.
Well, that sounds terrible.
It is terrible. And the British realize this, so they decide they're not going to attack Philadelphia. They decide it's the fourth quarter, they're up by 100 points. They're just going to take it.
Y'all are about to do the equivalent of what Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons did against Tom Brady and the fucking Patriots. That's what y'all are about to do. Y'all are about to rest on y'all's laurels. Y'all about to kick back, chill, cats in the bag. All right. We all know how it went, but all right.
Knee, let the clock run out, and win the game. There's no reason for them to march south, have one last fight with Washington, and take Philadelphia because the American Revolution is dying just fine on its own. So the top British generals, General Howe and General Cornwallis, order their...
That's how you lose, bro. You never leave it up to chance. You never leave it up to the plot. You never let God take the wheel. You double tap everything. And you eviscerate everything in your path until the day is won.
men to go into winter quarters. General Cornwallis makes plans to go back home to Britain to spend winter with his wife, and General Howe is going to go up to New England and spend winter with his mistress. Okay, the British.
Wait, hold on.
Obviously, the bad guys in this.
I gotta go back.
On its own. So the top British generals, General Howe and General Cornwallis, order their men to go into winter quarters. General Cornwallis makes plans to go back home to Britain to spend winter with his wife, and General Howe is going to go up to New England and spend winter with his mistress. Okay.
Wow, mistress. All right. That almost went over my head. So yeah, exactly what I predicted. Yeah, y'all are gonna. Wow, that's how y'all lost. Really? You were just like, it's in the bag. We're good. Let's just chill, hang out. We don't have to do shit at all whatsoever. I mean, I guess I could understand why you thought that at the time, but like, I don't know, man. That just seems so. If you wanted this land that fucking badly, I mean, dude.
The British, obviously the bad guys in this story, but you got to give it to them. That's a brilliant plan, right? You get to go home, be warm, get a piece of ass, and still win.
I'll make that deal.
What their plan did not account for was that a 6'2" giant by the name of George Washington was about to make the decision.
See? And that's why the military operates today the way it operates today, because of situations like that, man. We learn from history. We learn from prior battles. I had no idea of any of this when it came to this battle, but you never give your enemy the opportunity to do anything. Obviously, you capture them, they're your prisoner. You give them certain opportunities, right? Just so they live. But in the heat of the fight, as the fight's happening, you never give an inch. Because if you do, that might be just what they needed to beat you. I don't know, man. I don't think it's smart at all.
That he was going to be the main character of the American Revolution. He was about to have his Rocky moment where he decides nothing's over till it's over. But the clock is ticking. Right now it's about December 8th, and he's got till December 31st at midnight to figure out a way to get all of his men to not abandon their enlistments, to remain in the army, build an army over the course of the next winter, and then take the fight back to the British. And to make things 10 times worse, pretty much everybody has given up on him. Continental Congress is pissed off at his string of losses. All of the other top generals in the Continental Army are secretly going behind his back, telling Congress that they should be his replacement, and they're talking,
you treacherous bastards,
about firing George Washington. They've basically already decided they're going to let the British plan work. They're going to let the clock run out. They're going to let the American military dissolve. And then they're going to hope in the spring, everybody will have forgotten that they've just had their ass beat for the last 6 months straight. And they'll be able to raise a new army, put somebody else in charge of it, and they're going to go fight the British. But George Washington knows the people aren't going to forget. This revolution is going to die right here, right now, if he can't do something about it. And this is the lowest point of George Washington's life. In his own writings, I'm paraphrasing, but he basically says, I want to quit. I wish I could quit, but I know if I quit, nobody else is going to take up my spot and do what needs to be done right here, right now. He knows that he's the dad. He is,
if it's not me, it won't be anybody.
He's a father to a new nation, and quitting is a luxury that he doesn't have. So he gets to work and he comes up with a plan. George Washington decides that somehow, someway, before December 31st at midnight, he needs to get a win. He needs to get a win so he can capture enemy supplies, and more importantly, he can get his men and the revolution as a whole some morale. He needs to prove to himself.
He also could have lied. I mean, I know that some people might look down on that, but I feel like this is one of those situations. It's so dire that if he couldn't, we're going to find out what happens, right? But let's say he couldn't figure anything out. He could have just lied. I mean, look at what happened whenever Nick Fury lied to the Avengers about Coulson's trading cards. He's like, they were in his pocket. There you go. What are you prepared to do about that? Oh, man. Gotta get motivation somehow.
His men and the whole world that the British military is not invincible and that they can be beat. And then maybe, just maybe, his men will re-enlist and he can keep the revolution alive. He can turn this from a fourth quarter situation to a halftime situation, and he can come out of this winter with a bigger, better army that's ready to take the fight to the British. But in order to accomplish that, he's going to have to change everything. Up until this point in the war, George Washington has led a very conservative, defensive-minded war. He's going to have to flip that on its head. He is going to have to get aggressive and go out on the offense. He is no longer going to be the general sitting up on the hill overlooking the battlefield issuing orders. He is going to be on the front lines with his men, leading them in combat the entire time, because that's the only way his men are going to follow him. With that in mind, he decides they are going to go to the nearest British outpost. They are going to launch an attack, and they are going to crush them there, steal all the supplies, and get this victory. But that's easier said than done, because the nearest British outpost is a town called Trenton in New Jersey, so they're going to have to recross the Delaware River when it's borderline frozen in winter when the men are already freezing, starving, and beat up. So the journey alone is a humongous ask, and even if they can make it to Trenton, once they get there, the problem only gets worse because it's occupied by 1,500 Hessians. And the Hessians are German.
And on top of that, you're more than likely gonna have casualties crossing this river, man. Hypothermia, probably.
Mercenaries hired by the British. They are basically the Blackwater of their day. They are the world.
And I wonder what kind of, like a big ass river? Like how long does it take to get across? I've never seen this river. I've only been to Jersey one time and it wasn't this place. So like, is it something manageable? Like with a strong current, it may take you 45 minutes to an hour? Or is this a big fucking river and like this is like half a day type shit, or maybe even a full day trek? It took hours? Yeah, dude, definitely gonna have fucking casualties here. That's just like, that just comes with what you're doing. No proper equipment to stay warm. I mean, back then, dude, I had fucking nothing.
Premier soldiers for hire. They are in every way professionals and good ones at that. The Continental Army, on the other hand, is a bunch of average Joes that picked up muskets one day. They don't know how to march, they don't know how to fight that great, but they're willing to fight. It is quite literally pros versus Joes, and to make things worse, the Joes are freezing, starving, and low on supplies, and the Hessian pros are not. They are the exact opposite. This is borderline impossible. If they're gonna pull this off, they're gonna need a Christmas miracle, which is exactly why we're gonna attack on Christmas.
We'll improvise. Just keep it kind of loosey-goosey.
Bet. Fantastic. The Hessians are mercenaries? That's what you're telling me? It took 9 hours to get to where they needed. Good God. And how deep is this river? Are we talking ankle? Knee? Waist? Neck? Like, what, how are we treading, right? I don't expect you to know these things. I'm just very curious. Braxton, what's good, man? I hope you had a good Christmas, and I hope you're having a good New Year, or a good New Year's Eve, if you're anywhere near me on my time zone. Oh, fuck.
All right, so it's decided. We're attacking Trenton on Christmas, so we got to get a plan together. First things first, we got to be able to transport all the men and all the cannons across the river as quickly as possible. And in order to do that, we're going to need as many boats as possible. Luckily, the Delaware River is used for commerce, so there's these things called Durham boats that a lot of farmers and businesses that operate on the river already own. And these boats are capable of carrying a huge quantity of weight because they're usually used for carrying like iron ore or crops. So if we can get our hands on those, we'll be able to transport large quantities of men and cannons across.
I was about to say, can they also take people too? Because, I mean, that'd be good.
Across the river as quickly as possible, and they're already along the river. So George Washington orders his guys to go out weeks in advance and track down all the farmers, all the businesses that own these Durham boats. And first, they need to ask if they can borrow them. If they're not going to let the Continental Army borrow them,
we'll pay you to fucking ferry our asses across the river.
They're going to ask them if they can buy them. And if they can't buy them, we're just going to steal that shit. We're going to strategically transfer that shit to our location. Okay, not really that great. It's not good for, the whole...
It's always the last resort, guys, but when the mission calls for it, you got to do it.
Hearts and minds, and we want everybody on our side to think we're the good guys thing, but our back is up against the wall. It has to be done. We need the...
Yeah, there's not going to be any of that shit if we lose, because then... Yeah.
These boats, if we can't buy them and we can't borrow them, we're gonna fucking steal them. So the men go out, they acquire the boats. Okay, now for the actual plan, how we're gonna conduct this battle. We are gonna go there. We are gonna leave at night. We are gonna cross the frozen Delaware River with giant chunks of ice floating down it in these Durham boats in the dark. And then we're gonna march 9 miles to Trenton and hopefully get there before the sun is up and we can still attack them at night. And because it's Christmas, hopefully all the Hessians have been partying and drinking and we can catch them when they're drunk, off guard, and just slaughter everybody. That's the plan. Okay, this is not going to be conventional warfare. We're not going to march to Trenton, then form up in ranks on the outskirts of town.
It's not going to look pretty.
Field and wait for the Hessians to come.
And dude, let me tell you something about this style of battle, this style of fighting. But then again, what would you guys prefer? Fighting in these times, or fighting in modern combat? Like, Afghanistan, Iraq, Vietnam, the World Wars. Would you rather fight in that type of combat or this type of combat? I guess the good things about this type of combat is that you do have honor on both sides, right? Because fuck around and put me in this situation, bro. I'm flanking. It only makes sense. Even without military training, I'm just like, oh, they're all looking in this direction, but they can't. They wouldn't see me if I just slipped out behind, went around, and just shot them in the back. So there is a degree of honor that goes on in this style of fighting. Both sides are agreeing to specific terms of the battlefield, but no, man, you're just dying for the sake of dying here, man. I don't feel like there's too much glory. I'm not one to chase glory or anything, but I prefer modern combat. And you got me so fucked if you think that I'm about to go into battle like this and be in the band. I roll up and all them motherfuckers got guns. I got a trumpet. You got me so fucked up it's not even funny. I will refuse to fight if you don't give me a gun. Back in these times, you throw me in the brig. Without a gun, I'm not playing. Like, anyways.
Come out and form up their ranks and fight like they do, where we all just stand in the field and take shots at each other. No, we are going to rush into the town with our 6-foot-tall Kentucky rifles and start doing CQB guerrilla warfare tactics. That's the plan. I know what you're thinking. If we're just doing a bunch of close quarters combat inside of an urban...
Yo, Trent, I appreciate that, man. And it's the thought that matters when it comes to joining the service. You're not the first one that has tried and couldn't, right? Because of some kind of medical thing. It is the thought that counts to all of us veterans, because had it not been for that, you would be doing the thing, and we would be saying thank you for your service. So yeah. Medicine is better, but you're dealing with drones now. Yeah, that's one thing about modern combat that I'm so glad that I didn't have to experience. I didn't experience drones in combat. They weren't a thing. The only drones that were a thing were the ones that we flew. The ones that we used to destroy certain things, right? The enemy didn't have drones. No enemy had drones back then. Really, I don't feel, except for the Reapers, the Predators. Other countries probably had the same things, but they weren't operating with the level of drones that we have now. And I gotta tell you, I would not want to be in that Afghanistan type setting on a foot patrol and then drones come out of fucking nowhere. That's terrifying. You want to know why? Because if those drones are fucking with me, you know what I have to do? I have to look up. And if I'm looking up, you know what I'm not looking at? Everything else. Boom. Dead. If the enemy was smart enough, they would use those drones as a distraction and then just shoot you whenever your fucking eyesight moves. That's it. Line of sight. Line of sight and eyesight. If you can force your enemy to look in a different direction, oh my god, it's just easy pickings, really, and that's terrifying to me because I don't know how to react to that. Except for, I don't know, man, take cover. That's the only thing you really can do. Take cover and pray this thing doesn't fuck with you, and pray that they don't know your exact location because they're probably watching you from a distance. We're getting carried away, but yo, have a fantastic New Year's. You work on New Year's Eve? No, that's unfortunate. Hopefully you're getting extra pay for that. I hope. Like some time and a half maybe, because it's like holiday times. Have a good evening though, man.
Environment, why are we bothering to bring a bunch...
I gotta go back. I missed some shit.
Stand in the field and take shots at each other.
I don't know. Further than this.
Conventional warfare. We're not going to march to Trenton, then form up in ranks on the outskirts of town in a field and wait for the Hessians to come out and form up their ranks and fight like they do, where we all just stand in the field and take shots at each other. No, we are going to rush into the town with our 6-foot-tall Kentucky rifles and start doing CQB guerrilla warfare tactics. That's the plan. I know what you're thinking. If we're just doing a bunch of close quarters combat inside of an urban environment, why are we bothering to bring a bunch of cannons with us? Surely cannons won't be good for CQB, right?
No, they're good after the fact, really. Or just to get in, or to just distract, or to just make it seem like there's more chaos happening than there actually is, or to just level this fucking town when you're done killing everybody. Or you've done the thing, you've already ran through it, level it, I suppose. If they have gates, these cannons could be used for that as well.
Wrong, because we've got Henry Knox, you know, like Fort Knox where they keep all the gold. Yeah, that guy. He's George Washington's chief of artillery, and he's about to revolutionize how cannons are used in combat.
Wow, really? That's the guy that Fort Knox is named after? That's so cool.
Wrong, because we've got Henry Knox, you know, like Fort Knox where they keep all the gold. Yeah, that guy. He's George Washington's chief of artillery, and he's about to revolutionize how cannons are used in combat. Henry Knox is about to write the playbook for CQB cannon warfare, which shouldn't even be a thing.
They made
Oh, wow. I thought they were just going to keep the cannons on the outskirts, send in the ground troops do their thing. If the ground troops have to retreat, they retreat, and as they're retreating, fire off the fucking cannons as cover fire, maybe. That's where my head was at the beginning, but no, these ballsy psychotic bastards are actually gonna...
CQB AT4, which is pretty sweet.
Wait, hold on, time out. Yeah, that's crazy in itself, bro. CQB AT4, like you... What? Man? That's...
Fuck on. Because usually cannons are just, you know, you put them up on the hill, they shoot at the enemy from far...
That's where my head was at.
Far away, that's how they're used. That's what artillery is at this point in time. Henry Knox, however, isn't going to have his one big artillery battery up on the hill. He's going to take his men that man the cannon, he's going to take them and the cannon, and he's going to attach them to different infantry units, and they are going to roll into town with the infantry, and every time they hit
Hashtag drive-by, oh my lord.
a major crossroads or a choke point, the cannon is going to set up there, and they're going to hold that crossroads and that choke point with the cannon, and they're going to be using canister shot, which is basically a burlap sack full of a bunch of tiny cannonballs, essentially turning it into a giant fucking shotgun, and we all know shotguns are the best for CQB.
Pistols put holes in people. Rifles put holes through people. Shotguns at the right range with the right load will physically remove a chunk of shit off your opponent and throw that shit on the floor.
So Henry Knox and his artillery boys are going to be going in attached to the main assault element that is led by George Washington himself. There's also going to be two other elements of this attack. And the second element is absolutely critical.
That is the greatest saying I think I've ever heard. And I plan on memorizing that shit and using that in the future, maybe when I'm fucking old or something.
For mission success, because there's a Delaware River going down, Trenton is right here, and then there's a little creek that peels off the Delaware River called the Assunpink Creek.
What?
Come again.
Has anyone actually made it to level 4 before? If you're slightly congested, use level 1. If you find yourself mouth breathing or snoring at night.
And to answer your question, yes, it is taking an enormous amount of self-control not to make a joke about the name of this creek. Anyways, moving on. In order for this mission to succeed, they need to take control of this bridge immediately and cut it off, because if the Hessians are able to get all their men and get them across the bridge, they'll be able to form up, and then there's one giant choke point, and then it's just going to be a slugfest, and the Americans are probably not going to win, because they're going to have to run across a bridge to get to the Hessians, or the Hessians are just going to retreat, go to the nearest town, and come back with a ton of reinforcements. And the problem George Washington faces with this is there's not a lot of people capable of leading this force that he also actually trusts, because the vast majority of high-ranking officers in the Continental Army at this point in time are politically hostile to George Washington, and they're running off to Congress trying to steal his job. Really, the only big names that are super loyal to George Washington himself are Henry Knox, who has to be with George Washington, and Nathaniel Greene, the fighting Quaker, aka his right-hand guy, and he also needs him with the main assault force, so he needs some...
That should be... Man... All of these officers... running back to Washington, running back to Congress and shit. I almost said Washington, but that's not a thing yet. Running back to Congress and saying all this shit and blah, 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 and not actually helping. Damn if you like the guy. Not helping. Bro, that's some treasonous ass behavior. It really is. And after all this is said and done, and George rises to power, I would charge you fuckers accordingly, because... you hindered the battlefield. You hindered progress. It's almost like obstruction of justice with cops, right? You kept me from doing my job, man. So fuck you. Like,
Buddy that he can trust that's going to lead these men in combat. So he turns to John Sullivan. Now, John Sullivan and George Washington
I recognize that name. I just can't.
have their differences. They don't necessarily like each other. They get on each other's nerves. But Sullivan isn't a politicking general. He's not going behind George Washington's back trying to steal his job. His and George Washington's disagreements fall over how to win the battle, not necessarily who should be leading. This guy is a straight up hardcore soldier that just wants to go in there, get the job done as effectively as possible. Once John Sullivan has his orders, he is a guy that just goes out there and gets
fuck all the red tape and the bureaucratic nonsense.
It done. He can improvise on the fly, and he is hyper aggressive. He believes that having an imperfect plan that is executed immediately and violently is better than a perfect plan that takes a little while to figure out. And that is why George Washington comes to him with this mission to take over the bridge over the Assunpink.
As blitzes usually are, man. Huge risk, but also a huge reward, because the element of surprise and the speed and the momentum at which you're attacking your enemy, even if they're well trained, getting caught off guard is getting caught off guard.
And is like, look, I don't care how you do it, just fucking get it done, take this bridge. The third element of this attack wasn't going to be as vital. It was more or less going to be insurance. They were going to cross the Delaware River further south below the Assunpink River on the other side of the bridge from Sullivan. They were then going to occupy the road between Trenton and Bordentown, New Jersey, which was the nearest British outpost, which all the reinforcements.
This is the newest video from today, not the one that he uploaded. Not the last one he uploaded is about a fighter pilot. We're going to watch that on the next stream.
Would be coming from.
But what's good, Ducky? How are you?
And if they ended up coming, their job was going to be to stop him, or if they couldn't stop him, at least harass and delay them and give Washington the time he needed to take over Trenton. And because this was not as vital, he would end up giving this job to General Cadwalader, who, while he was loyal to Washington, he also didn't have a great reputation for operating well under pressure. He was too conservative. But he was really the only other loyal guy around that was a general, so Washington basically more or less had to give him the job. So now he's got the leadership that he needs to the best that he could do. Now he's got to improve morale. He's got to get all of his men's hearts into this fight, and he's just brutally honest with them. He straight up just comes out and tells them, look, this is going to be victory or death. We're going to fucking win, or we're all going to die. Those are the only solutions. And that
I would have told him, look, man, on the other side of this river, they have all the booze and all the bitches. And if we want either of those things, we have to kill them to get it. So I don't know how much more motivation you need, but this is for the birth of your country, so you don't really need to say all that much.
It literally becomes the call phrase for the mission. Like different units operating in the darkness, you hear somebody off in the distance, you yell out a code word, and they respond back with the right code word. That way you know it's a friendly. The call sign that you yell out is victory, and the person responds with or death. And everybody's surprised. The men are actually fucking pumped, because this is the first time in their entire military career that they are going out on the offensive. They get to be the aggressor. Everything up until this point has just been them hunkering down and waiting for the big, bad, invincible British military to come get them and kick their ass. And this is the first.
It almost reminds me of my time.
Time ever that they're going to roll up and they're going to do the ass kicking. So this is it. The game is set. It is victory or death. The American Revolution is going to get a win right here, right now, or it is going to die, and we're going to stay British forever.
Shaka Khan. Oh, please.
Christmas Day, 6 p.m., 1776, all the head honchos are inside of a house. They're all looking at George Washington, Nathaniel Greene, Henry Knox, John Sullivan, General Cadwalader, all looking at him like, are we still going through with this crazy plan? Because not only is this plan crazy, there's now also a snowstorm outside. And George Washington issues the order. The weather doesn't matter. The clock is still ticking. We're going anyways. And you know what? Finding the silver lining, it probably adds to the element of surprise, because now it's not just the...
Who would dare attack in this weather? That's probably the sentiment.
Hessians thinking surely the Americans wouldn't cross a frozen river on Christmas to kill us in our sleep. Now it's the Americans surely wouldn't cross a frozen river on Christmas in a snowstorm to kill us in our sleep. Right? Wrong. No, that's exactly what we're doing. Board the fucking boats. 7 p.m. they start ferrying guys across the river, and the weather just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. It's no longer just snow falling. It is sleet and freezing rain. Visibility is incredibly low, and it's getting darker and darker by the minute, and they've got nothing but lamps to light them up while they're crossing a frozen river, getting just pissed on by freezing rain. This slows everything down. It takes hours.
I can only imagine what the British thought. What was going through their mind when they saw George Washington roll up on them in this awful ass weather. The look of surprise on their face had to have been akin to the same look of surprise on every single person's face when they realized that the fucking Titanic was sinking. That's the only thing I could really compare it to. They're just like, they're fucking mad. To be a fly on the wall.
Hours longer than it was supposed to for Washington and Sullivan's men to get across the river, and they are now hours behind schedule. They don't get all their men across the river until 1 in the morning, and as soon as they get all their men across the river, they receive word that Cadwallader's men weren't able to cross at all, so now it's just the 2 of the 3 elements that they wanted. The men are already freezing. They're going to have to walk 9 miles through this snowstorm to get to Trenton. They only have 2/3 of the men that they wanted, and 2 men fell off the boats and froze to death already, and the rest
There's the casualties. It's not funny, but how the fuck did you fall off? Okay, my bad.
The men are actively freezing to death, and George Washington considers turning back, but he realizes that under these conditions, it's probably going to take longer to ferry the men back across the river than it is.
You are at the point of no return.
Just to march to Trenton, and at least if they're marching, they'll be able to stay warm instead of sitting here waiting for their turn to hop on a boat. So that's it. We've crossed the point of no return. No matter how bad it gets, we have to keep pushing forward. It is quite literally victory or death at this point. They start marching to Trenton, and this march takes way longer than it's supposed to. The men are still pumped spiritually, but physically they are still starving, freezing. It's a snowstorm, it's dark, and all they have is lanterns leading the way. Obviously, Washington and Sullivan's men split up because they're taking different routes to attack different spots on the town. Sullivan winds up sending a runner over to George Washington and is like, hey, our men are completely soaked with this freezing rain. All of our black powder's wet. We're not going to be able to shoot people when we get there. To which Washington replies, then use bayonets. John Sullivan, king of just getting the job done anyways, is like, okay, Roger, take over the bridge with nothing but pointy sticks. You got it. They don't make it to Trenton until like 7:30 in the morning. The sun's already coming up. Everything is going wrong. They're missing one of their...
I can't imagine my leadership telling me that when I was in combat. Just to use bayonets. My response would have been like, oh, you mean that fucking thing that we did once in basic training and you didn't even issue any of us a fucking knife or an attachment or nothing? It's...
3 elements. The black powder's wet. The sun is now up when they were supposed to attack at the dark, and the Hessians didn't go and get drunk the night before, and they're all just sleeping. The perfect plan that we had has crumbled. It no longer exists. The only thing we have now is immediate and violent execution of whatever we've got.
This is how guys are treating hair loss in as little as 3 to 6 months. Like, look at this.
I just don't understand how those... It said that 2 people fell off the boat. Were y'all fucking around? Because if I'm freezing to death, I'm not doing a lot of moving. So...
Let's try some schoolyard bullshit.
So the Americans just attack at 8 o'clock in the morning. There's very few guards out because, again, it's the day after Christmas and a snowstorm just ended. Surely the Americans aren't on their way, right? Wrong. All the guards get killed immediately. Henry Knox and his boys roll in there with cannons, set them up on the street. Everybody in town's been alerted from taking out the guards. Hessians start running out of the buildings in their pajamas with their guns, trying to figure out what's going on. They're getting lit up by canister shot from Henry Knox's artillery. So it's already chaos for the Hessians, and then the Americans...
Imagine you're sleeping, you hear a whole bunch of commotion, you open your front door and get hit with a fucking cannonball. Oh my god.
Infantry starts doing what the American infantry does, and they start deliberately targeting the officers so they can't give any of the men any orders. So it's just mass chaos for the Hessians absolutely everywhere. And then to make things even worse for the Hessians, some of the American civilians inside the town of Trenton start helping in the battle. One soldier had an account that he witnessed a woman from a second-story window shoot and kill a Hessian captain. Which is just
even the women were different back then.
Poetry, because American men don't engage in gentlemanly warfare, and American women definitely don't. Some of the Hessian troops wind up retreating across the bridge before Sullivan could take it, but ultimately he does wind up taking control of this bridge at about 8:30. So we are 30 minutes into this battle. America's already taken the bridge. They're kicking ass, and Colonel Rahl, the Hessian commander, is just now getting out of his quarters. They went and woke him up the second the attack started, but you know, he had to go and get his uniform on and get his powdered wig because he's got to go win in style. So he comes out, and it's just Complete chaos. Men are scattered everywhere. All of his officers are fucking dead. He hops on his horse and starts rallying his men to this apple orchard right outside of town. So Colonel Rahl's out there on horseback yelling orders. He's getting all of his men to this apple orchard, gets most of them there, starts getting them formed up, and then some random American, some fucking farm kid with a Kentucky rifle notices, oh look, a guy on horseback with a bunch of fancy shit on his outfit and a powdered wig.
Let's kill him.
Shoot that guy.
So now Colonel Rahl, fatally wounded, basically orders his men to carry him back to his quarters and tells the rest of his officers, like, good luck, fucking figure it out. And by the time that unfolds, Sullivan already has cannons on the other side of the Assunpink River pointed at them on the apple orchard. Henry Knox has all the cannons moved around them on the other side, and it's just all the Hessians standing in the middle surrounded by cannons and Americans, and they're forced to surrender. When it was all said and done, 22 Hessians had been killed, 83 had been wounded, and they captured 900. The rest of them managed to escape across the bridge before Sullivan took it over. And the Americans, the untrained, undisciplined, inferior fighting force, managed to suffer, let me check my notes, fucking 0 casualties. Okay, if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, the Hessians' MVP player was the frozen Delaware River. It's the only thing that took out any Americans in this entire operation. And to most people, that's it. That's the story of the famous painting of Washington standing up on a boat crossing the frozen Delaware River on Christmas to kill his enemies. There's literally an entire 90-minute movie about this entire battle. It's like my favorite Christmas movie ever. It's called The Crossing, and this is where they end the story.
I've never seen it.
But in reality, this is where the story begins. So while most people in the story there, and they're like, oh, America had their first victory at Trenton, hooray, the revolution is saved. No, that's not how reality works, okay? A bunch of Hessians escaped across the bridge, and they're gonna go tell the British, and now Cornwallis and General Howe aren't gonna be able to go home and get laid. They're gonna be super pissed off. They're gonna come back with a ton of men and crush George Washington. So while everybody else is celebrating because America just got their first victory, George Washington is like, grab the supplies, pack your
That was the victory that George Washington needed, though, to inspire his troops and to get them to stay. That was the battle. Now we just pretty much have to survive.
Shit up. We're heading back across the Delaware right now. Yeah. And that's exactly what happens. The men are dog-ass tired. They've been up all night. They just want a battle. But hey, George Washington says so. That's what we're going to do. They get all the supplies that they just captured. They pack all their shit up. They head back across the Delaware. At least now there's not a snowstorm going on. So they get back. Now Washington has to handle the fact that the clock is still ticking. Like the enlistments still expire on December 31st at midnight. And now it's December 27th. And now Cornwallis, who's pissed off that he didn't get to go home for Britain for the winter and bang his wife, is marching towards them with 8,000 redcoats. And he's got like approximately 2,000-ish guys, and they all get to go home in 3 days. So if Cornwallis shows up and his army just dissolves overnight, he's not going to stand there with 8,000 guys and be like, oh, I guess we can all go home now. No, he's going to continue marching down to Philadelphia and squash the entire rebellion. If Washington can't figure out how to put up a defense right here, right now, it's still game over. So Washington...
I think I've heard stories about how he does this, but let's see how it goes.
Forms up his men and delivers a speech, and he basically...
I just can't remember how these stories go, but it's a lot of ambushing.
Lays it out how it is. He's like, look, you guys can go home if you want. I can't stop you. But if you guys stay, give me one more month. I will get all of you a $10 bonus from Continental Congress. I will get you paid. And if you give me one more month, we can fight and keep this rebellion alive. Otherwise, we're never going to have another shot like this. They're going to absolutely crush us if you guys quit right now. So they stay. They're freezing. They're starving. They're beat up. They're exhausted.
Got nowhere else to go.
But they stay. And as news spreads that America just actually beat the invincible British military at Trenton, he starts getting some more reinforcements, some more militias join under Washington. He gets some new recruits, and his troops go from 2,000 to approximately 4,000 men. It is now 4,000 untrained American colonials versus 8,000 redcoats under Cornwallis. The odds are getting better, but they're not looking that great. This is looking like America's gonna get its ass kicked again. This is quite literally
There's definitely gonna be casualties here.
Again, victory or death. They got to figure out how to stop Cornwallis. And yet again, George Washington's back is up against the wall. He cannot decide whether or not he wants to take this fight. He has to take this fight. The only thing he can decide is where and how.
What if I told you this dish was actually healthy?
The French and the Spanish help? Dude, from what I saw from the trailer, I did see some Spanish in the trailer to the George Washington movie.
He decides they're going to go back to Trenton and they're going to set up all their defenses on the bridge and force the British army to cross that narrow choke point while the American army is firing at them. Okay, strategically, this is brilliant. Funnel your enemies into a narrow choke point, light them up with cannon fire. Okay, that's fantastic. Metaphorically, also brilliant, because if you're going to make your last stand, fight, and die, there's no better place to do it than the ass in pink. Am I right? I tried so hard not to make that joke. I'm sorry. So that's it. That's the plan. Washington and his men recross the Delaware for a third time. They start digging trenches. They're getting the cannons set up. They are getting ready to make their last stand. And George Washington goes over to John Sullivan and is like, John, I need you to take your best guys. I need you to go.
I would also have people on the other side of the fucking river just in case you lose that, but
up the road where Cornwallis is coming from, and I need you to just harass the shit out of him and slow him down as long as possible. Okay, on one hand, like why does that matter? Why are we trying to slow him down? We're making our last stand, like we might as well do it during the daylight. I don't want to fight at night. But also, this is John Sullivan, the guy that just takes orders and accomplishes a fucking mission. So he takes his men and he goes and he does just that. So Cornwallis is trying to march 8,000 redcoats down the road, and John Sullivan and his guys are just in the tree line taking pop shots at him the entire time. They launch an ambush. They dip. The British have to like turn, file ranks, go out into the field. Yep. They fire back into the trees. Turns into,
at that point, you're firing at nothing.
A whole 45-minute thing every time. And by the time they return fire, John Sullivan and his guys are already gone. They harass and delay him forever. Nobody really knows why we're trying to delay him, but you know, fuck it. George Washington said so. And
it's a nuisance, bro. It's an annoyance. And on top of that, you're going to start to make them paranoid. And being paranoid on a battlefield is not conducive to your success on said battlefield at all.
He probably has a plan, so that's what we're doing. So Cornwallis and his men make it to the Assunpink Bridge late afternoon on January 2nd. The Americans are there. They're ready. Cornwallis just launches full-on frontal attack against the bridge, and America mows them down. They retreat. He launches another full frontal attack. American cannon fire and musket fire mows them down again. They retreat. Cornwallis does a third attack. They get mowed down again. He lost somewhere between 150 and 365 men. Accounts from that day said the bridge looked like it was painted red with British blood. At this point, it's getting dark. The battle for the day is over. Both sides start getting their camp ready. They're going to camp down for the night, get ready. They're going to duke this out in the morning. That's what they're thinking. George Washington, on the other hand, has other plans in mind. And
I'm about to keep y'all up all night.
This is why he sent John Sullivan out to delay Cornwallis, because he wanted this battle to get broken up by...
Because if I let you sleep, you'll be well rested for the next day. But if I don't...
nightfall, so that he could pull off a pro-gamer move. Washington takes a couple of hundred guys and orders them to just spend the entire night building bonfires and making as much noise as humanly possible. Be loud, have conversations, yell, build a bunch of fires, make it seem like there's 4,000 motherfuckers on this side of the bridge. And the rest of us are all gonna take these tiny trails. We're gonna go around Cornwallis to the town of Princeton, where he just came from. We're gonna fuck up all his reinforcements and steal their supplies. Okay, that's the American plan. Cut back over to the other side of the bridge. Cornwallis is having a meeting with all of his officers, and they're trying to figure out what to do because they still might want to attack at night. And Cornwallis and pretty much all the other officers are on the same page of like, no, we're gonna attack in the morning. He's not gonna go nowhere. He's trapped. He can't go anywhere. We'll attack him in the morning. But there's one guy in that meeting, Sir Erskine. He's an officer, and he's like, no, we need to attack Washington right now. Have you guys not been paying attention? This is Washington's entire MO. He's done this like 15 fucking times, okay? We had him cornered at Rhode Island, and we're like, we're gonna crush him in the morning, and then somehow he evacuated 9,000 men overnight and disappeared like a fart in the wind, okay?
If you give George Washington even an inch on the battlefield, he will punish you for it.
Then he did the same thing at Fort Lee, and then he attacked Trenton out of nowhere. He's a slippery motherfucker. We need to go get him right now.
Right now.
I have a gun in my room. You give me 5 seconds, I'll get it. Boom! I'll blow their brains out.
Scott, you just don't get it, do you?
But then Sir Erskine kind of looks like an asshole, because when they look across the river, there's just more and more fireplaces popping up all over the place, and that's when Cornwallis says, we'll go over and bag him in the morning. Washington and his men start marching 12 miles around them to head up to...
I wonder if Washington knew that that was going to happen. That's kind of like some fucking next level strategy right there. Like, because really his plan originally was to keep him up all night, right? To make it seem like there's 4,000 motherfuckers here, right? Distract, keep him up all night. If you're tired on the battlefield, that's going to hinder you, right? But the general saw all these campfires and all this shit. He's like, nah, fuck it. I wonder if George knew that that would be his reaction to that, or if that was just a byproduct and a happy accident of him trying to keep these fuckers up all evening.
Princeton, yes, like the college. This is where the college is. They're going to attack Princeton University. They march all night long. When the sun's coming up, they're approaching Princeton. Cut back over to the British. Cornwallis and his boys wake up. They go over there, and it's just a bunch of dead fire pits everywhere. There's not an American in sight.
I fucking knew it! Oh!
Cutting back over to the Americans, as they're approaching Princeton, there's two roads.
That clip never gets old.
Going in and out, right? And the Americans are on one road, and there's 1,200 British reinforcements on the other road, and they're literally passing each other as America's entering Princeton, and they just kind of turn and look, and the fight breaks out right there. From here, it just turns into a giant shit show, right? They were marching on a road. They're not in battle formations. You've got John Sullivan and his men, and then Cadwalader and his men leading the way up front, and then George Washington's behind them. So John Sullivan and Cadwalader's men are the ones that engage first, and after a little while, the British start getting the better of Cadwalader's men, and they're breaking apart the two formations that John Sullivan and Cadwalader had set up, and they're about to split them in two, break the line, and crush the American forces. At this point, George Washington, leading from the front, rides in on his horse into the break in the American line and starts waving his men into battle to charge. And right as he gets out in the open and everybody sees, holy shit, that's George Washington, the British open up with a volley and just cover the entire battlefield in smoke, and George Washington disappears from eye view, and everybody just has the sinking in their stomach feeling of like, fuck.
Dude, that's so crazy. I hate to bring it up last time, I swear, but in the trailer that I watched for Young Washington, there's a scene where he's talking to a fellow officer, someone above him, and he's like, Washington, all those bullet holes in your jacket, how are you not dead? And George responds with, I don't know. That's crazy. That's what that reminds me of.
George Washington just died. That's it. But as the smoke dissipates, George Washington comes back into eye view, still on his horse, still waving his men into battle, and they follow and proceed to crush the British line.
Awaken to a world of wonder.
Wakey, wakey, motherfucker.
In Final Fantasy XIV Online.
With the British line fractured, some of the Redcoats turn, take off towards Trenton so they can reconvene with Cornwallis, and the rest of them are forced to retreat into Princeton University and take up occupation inside of some of the school buildings, and they barricade themselves inside. So the Americans roll in the cannons and just start lighting up Princeton University with cannon fire. Eventually, the British are forced to wave the white flag out of these school building windows, and they are forced to surrender. And from here, George Washington has yet another decision to make, because he knows that he is now in between Cornwallis and the Redcoats, and their supply depot in New Brunswick, which is the biggest supply depot for the British Empire in this entire area. If he goes into New Brunswick and takes out that supply depot, it would be humongous. But also, that's exactly what Cornwallis is anticipating, and Cornwallis is for sure beelining it there as fast as he can, because he does not want to lose this supply depot. Instead, Washington decides it's finally time to take up winter quarters, and he's going to be a dick about it the entire time. He marches his men further into New Jersey, into a place called Morristown up in the hills, which is heavily populated by people supporting the Patriot cause. It's also up in the hills. There's high ground all over the place. There's very few roads to get in and out. It is extremely easy for him to defend, and the British aren't going to be able to reach him there without taking a humongous amount of losses. More importantly, it's centralized in relation to all the other British outposts, so he has this impenetrable home base that's centralized. So from here, for the next 2 to 3 weeks, he just sends out raiding parties on all,
pretty much like the first White House,
all the British outposts, and is relentlessly harassing them until they finally say fuck this, and the British pull out of New Jersey altogether for the winter. And when this news spread, thousands upon thousands of young men
you can't reach me up here, but I'm going to constantly fuck with you. And they fucked off. That's
and enlisted in the Continental Army. They got a ton of support from civilians. They got more food, more supplies, more everything. The entire revolution was a dying fire down to its last little red ember. And in its last moments, George Washington walked up with a fucking gallon of gasoline and poured it on top and turned it into a massive bonfire. The Battle of Trenton, Assunpink Creek, and Princeton all happened in the span of 10 days. And in that 10 days, George Washington proved—
That's actually crazy. All those in 10 days?
the entire world that the British military was not only not invincible, but that they could be beat. It is probably the only reason that you're not drinking tea from a kettle right now, and it is probably the most important 10 days in—
Well, I mean, it's also the reason that a lot of us even fucking exist, really, because think about it. If George Washington loses and America never becomes America, there's some of us that are never born. There's some of us that never come into existence. There's like entire lineages and family trees that never sprout up out of the fucking ground. So, yeah, it's crazy.
American history. So yeah, that is the full and real story of the famous painting of Washington crossing the Delaware on Christmas. He didn't just cross it once, he crossed it 3 times. He handed out 3 separate ass whoopings, saved the American Revolution, and changed the world forever. And that is why he is the father of the United States of America.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Best way to support the channel.
Super excited to see the movie now that I know some more, because dude, I just don't remember, but I'm almost certain that I didn't learn about George Washington in this level of detail in high school. I learned about George Washington. I learned about, you know, all the shit that, all the important stuff I feel that they teach you. There's just like very specific stuff that either gets left out because it just gets left out, or it gets left out for time, or it's deemed not necessary to the curriculum. But to my memory, I don't remember learning this in school at all whatsoever, which some could say that's a bad thing. But when you think about it, there's so much history, and a semester's only 9 fucking weeks. You can only learn so much and so fast. But yeah. Yo, Lost Souls, what's good? Yeah, dude, and like crossing the river. And back in these times, you know how badly you have to want to whoop someone's ass to cross that river? And on top of that, you're firing fucking muskets. Like, dude, imagine today. Imagine if we had muskets today, right? Like, you want to shoot somebody. All right, wait, motherfucker. Hold on. Wait, hold on. You know what, man? I'm not even mad anymore. Just don't even worry about it. I feel like that's how it would go today with muskets. The reason people die to guns today so fast and so easily is because it is so easy. It's like 6 or 7 pounds of pressure. Back in these times, there's a whole bunch of shit that went into loading your weapon. You have to really want to kill somebody because, like, look at all that shit you got to do. You got to put it in. You got to put the powder. But by the time you're done, are you even really mad anymore to kill this person? Probably not. So, like, you got to be upset. So yeah, that's great. All right, Commander Smushy, did you put your Oh, dude, I loved history. I passed history. Like, my only bad subject was math. I can't do math. History, science, all that shit. History was my favorite. History and science was my favorite. But I was good at that stuff. My favorite parts of history class was like we actually learned y'all seen the movie 300, right? With Gerard Butler and This is Sparta. It's based on the Battle of Thermopylae, or Thermopylae, however you want to pronounce it. We actually learned about that in high school. So like when I saw the movie for the first time, I was just like, I'm hip. I know the history of all of this. This is fantastic. So yeah. In that time, just use a bow and arrow. I mean, I don't feel like, was archery prevalent in these times? I don't know. They had guns, man, so they probably looked at bow and arrows for combat as like, well, the same way we would look at it today in combat. I mean, hell, they even said it in fucking Avengers Age of Ultron. Hawkeye said it. I'm in a floating city, surrounded by robots, with a bow and arrow. None of this makes any sense. So yeah, I don't know. Only the ones truly proficient could use a bow and arrow again in a gunfight and win. But sadly, those people are only Oliver Queen. So unless you're that guy, yeah, I don't know about it. Yo, James, what's good? How are you? I hope all of y'all are having a good evening. Hopefully y'all are having a good Wednesday, a good New Year's Eve. Where the fuck am I? Oh. Right here. What's going on here? Oh. Escape from Tarkov Raid. Episode 1. Uncensored. 18 plus. Is this like... It's Escape from Tarkov, but this isn't gameplay, is it? This is like... This is an actual... Oh, this will be fire. Jeff, what's good? Live action series. That's what that's the words I was looking for, yeah. Of Escape from Tarkov. I never thought I'd see the day. That's fantastic. The retired drill sergeant that he teaches history that was worth learning. Oh, that was your history teacher, was a retired drill sergeant? Probably the best ones to have because they know how to teach. I had a good history teacher though. His name was Coach Hicks. He was also the track and field coach or something like that. But he was my history teacher. And he damn near almost reminded me of a drill sergeant, to be honest, because he was the only teacher in school that used profanity towards us. But it wasn't like mean-spirited. It wasn't like malicious or anything. It's not because he didn't like you. He just used profanity towards us because that's the way he was. No one said anything. Principal didn't say anything. Parents didn't say anything. We all just, yeah, that's Coach Hicks. And even when he taught, it was just profanity. We all thought it was great. It was fantastic. Dude, I swear, yeah. My history teacher was the track and field coach. My math teacher was the football coach for a time, and yeah, it's funny how that works. It's pretty common. Okay, hold on. Live action Escape from Tarkov. We got it. Hey, should we change this up? I think so, right? Make it big screen. This will be better for y'all. Actually, hold on. Yo, before we start this, let your boy go take a smoke break real fast. And I can let the dog in because she's out there terrorizing the neighbors. Oh, that's not fun. The teachers that speak like they're monotone. So if you look over here, you can see the angle of... I'm like, just... Dog. Please, for the sake of it. I'd rather you just yell it at me than say it how you're saying it right now. I'm not going to pass this. I'll be right back. I hate to leave y'all in silence, but it would just take way too long to pull something up and play it, and y'all just fucking just hum a song or something. I'll be right back. Hold on, one more second. Oh shit. All right, here we go. Whew. Bro, it's so cold outside, man. That shit is not fun. Okay. Will be better. Escape from Tarkov. Raid. Episode 1.
В Норвежской области после эвакуации населения до сих пор сохраняется напряженная обстановка. На блокированных территориях повсеместно орудуют банды мародеров, а в районе Таркова активизировали свою деятельность частные военные компании. Среди них западные ЧВК, представляющие интересы международной корпорации Terra Group, а также, по некоторым данным, российская частная военная компания BR. Присутствие последней в неспокойном регионе по-прежнему не подтверждается российскими официальными властями.
Берите все, что унесете. Прогулка может затянуться.
Командир, почему мы не можем просто зачистить этот долбанный Тарков?
I have a question. Chief, why can't we just clear out this damn Tarkov? I guess I just never thought about asking this question. What is Tarkov? Is that a... Does that mean jail? Because the name is Escape From. You would escape from jail or a prison. That's what Tarkov means, right? I guess I never really thought to ask.
Просто зачистить этот долбанный Тарков.
Объясняю для непонятных. Потому что...
Oh, it's a fictional Russian territory. Oh, so then...
Командир, почему мы не можем просто зачистить?
Why can't we just clear out this damn Tarkov, this territory? Okay, yeah.
Этот долбанный Тарков.
I've asked that very same question before. Why can't we just fucking...
Для непонятных. Потому что локальный конфликт Кремля и Terra Group еще не повод для общевойсковой операции внутри нашей страны.
We can't go to war on a massive scale like that. We have to send in these small groups. That's why we can't just go in guns blazing. We have to use tact, and it has to be on very isolated scales. Because otherwise, a full-scale war is good for no one. Quite possibly even bad for optics, whatever the case may be geopolitically in this world. Hold on, what did that say? After losing communication with the Skiffs group, the search team was sent to Tarkov. Motherfucker looking like Dobby. Oh, Tarkov City. I should have just waited and not... Go ahead and loot his bag. You're taking too long. This guy's definitely not on mouse and keyboard. He's definitely on controller. Taking you forever to loot. I'm kidding. My man, you get it and go. You don't just... See? See? That's why you scavenge, leave, and then eat. See? That always happens, bro. That's... I don't know if that right there is considered like a common trope in films, or if... Dude, people do that. I swear. People really do that. All the time. I'm just like, man, come on.
Он без подружек? Пока чисто.
He clearly wasn't any kind of like soldier or operator though, but like dude had zero self-preservation. Let's just sit here and eat out in the open, you know what I mean? Like
Он без подружек? Пока чисто.
Exactly. You take the backpack, loot it afterwards, man. It's almost like the equivalent of it's like the equivalent of stealing something in the store and then opening it and then playing with it while you're still in the store and you haven't even paid for it. My man, you're about to get fucking caught. Now you're gonna have to pay for it or they're gonna accuse you of stealing.
Внимание, контроль.
Make sure he's dead.
Парни, скифу оставьте что-нибудь, а то осерчает и заведет нас еще на минные посевы.
Пусть попробует. Я и с одной ногой сумею его захуярить.
Вот только Скиф единственный, кто знает эту местность и где искать его пропавших пацанов.
Не проебил он вылет со своей группой. Глядишь, и никого искать бы не пришлось. Так, мужики, затаривайтесь вещи, а? Пока толпа наших фанатов не набежала.
Бармалей, у вас там пока все тихо. Где что-нибудь взять?
Вода закончилась.
Демон. Мне от этих говнюков вообще ничего не надо.
А если есть хамон, возьму свои слова обратно.
Так, все, закругляемся.
Bro, I think these guys have a trap around this dead body.
Свои начнут искать. Пора валить отсюда. Где там наш головняк?
I don't know what they have. I don't know what they're holding a perimeter on.
Сокол форту. Сокол форту. Сокол форту. Сокол форту.
This building.
Босс атлет вне зоны.
Иди, тоже возьми себе что-нибудь. Эй, Скиф. А где твой минус?
Yeah, dude, this right here is so funny.
Босс атлет вне зоны.
Иди, тоже возьми себе что-нибудь.
Go get some loot for yourself. Yeah, in a live action, that happens. In a video game, you probably have some bastard that's taking everything for himself. It's always been my experience. I play Battle Royales, bro, and I get like 18 kills, yet somehow the guy with 2 kills has better loot than me. Fucking how? Only in live action does it actually work out like this.
Эй, Скиф.
That's because they care.
А где твой минус? Где мародерка, которого ты контролил? Ты оглох нахуй, что ли? Эй, где тело этого утырка?
Твою мать. Этот хер, походу, со своим стволом ушел.
Блядь, твой недобиток сейчас может оказаться где угодно.
Oh! Dude, I will say this. They nailed the essence of Tarkov. From the feel, the sounds, the environment, the language, their dialogue.
Живой, блядь! Выстрел с улицы 1-2. Серп 300.
The fact that that guy's fucking prone out in the open. They nailed it all.
Твою мать.
Маус, на контроль.
Losing track of someone you thought was dead. He's dead now. Was that the same guy?
Что с сербом? Характер ранения.
Оглох! Честь!
Картечь. Петрович, это под плетник залетело.
Мужики, наблюдаю движение в цеху. Наши западные партнеры нарисовались. Встать можешь?
Все онемело, сука.
Наблюдаю 8 контактов.
Скиф, серп на тебе.
Принял.
Маус, на место Скифа. Держи задний выход на железку.
Блять, такую пальбу только лениво не услышат. Ну что, закусываемся или валим?
Серп лежачий.
Ау.
Скиф, серва в укрытие!
Dog, this is... Huh. Oh. If I was that sniper, I would fucking reposition. I just feel like that's a horrid place. This is... Dude, this is violence right here. Unfiltered, unadulterated violence.
Нас тут пиздец как прижали! Отход! Валим в эту сторону через железку!
Хуёвая идея через железку! Нас там точно ждут!
Пошел!
Блять, я тебе точно говорю! А я специально сюда выдавлю! Я этих уродов знаю!
Ебало живое!
Any of you got a grenade launcher? Y'all can shoot into one of those. Yeah. That's where the fire's coming from. Shoot into one of those openings in the wall. Are there grenade launchers in Tarkov? I don't know. I never played. I've seen a lot of Tarkov gameplay though. You know shit's dire when you say fuck the weapon. Man, let me get a handgun. Hook me up. There you go. Nice. Oh, rough. That didn't seem vital. It seemed like it was the shoulder. Got on the shoulder somewhere. If you're not actively dying, lay there, gather yourself. Give me your gun. Very, very good sound design, but dude, this amount of ricochets and no one's gotten hit from that, or maybe they have and they just didn't show it, but dog, that's so many ricochets, and they're getting hella lucky. But it's Tarkov, right? So like, imagine if you played a first-person shooter where ricochet was a thing. You take like, I don't know, 3 damage, not like the full extent of the damage, but. And And I mean, dude, when I say good sound design, I mean like very good sound design. Like the weapons sound different when they're being shot from distance. The weapons sound different when they're being shot from inside this. It looks like a dilapidated building or whatever. But like the weapons sound different when they're coming from a certain range, a certain distance from inside, outside. It's like it's very, very good. Oh! Oh! Yeah, that's gonna need a big med kit, bro. You're gonna, yep. What does Noob say? It's a big back problem. I think now would be the time to retreat, bro. Shell shock, everyone's down. You can't hear shit, and now you're getting flanked. That's rough. Well, you lost all your loot. I hope y'all had enough money for the next run. Who did they die to? Did they die to scavs? I don't exactly know who they were fighting, but that was pretty good. Oh man, I wish I would have seen this earlier. Nah, music is done on Twitch. I can't get away with doing music here. It's too much of a hassle with copyright. I'm not worried about making money from it. It's just possible strikes, possible blocks. It's a whole pain in the ass. So, but tomorrow we'll be on Twitch and we'll be doing music there. And so, but for now, that's gonna do it, fellas, ladies and gentlemen, whoever's still here. We're gonna end it on that note. About to hang out with this puppy dog. And probably just chill for the rest of the evening. Call my dad here in a little while because he usually, if I'm not with him, he'll call me for New Year's and stuff like that. So I hope y'all have a fantastic rest of y'all's 2025 if it's not already 2026 for you. So, and I hope you had a good New Year's Eve. I had a fun time hanging out with you guys. Thank you so much for oh, PMCs, the opposite faction. Oh, okay. I'm down to continue that series. That was pretty good. But alright, guys, gals, take it easy. Thank you for hanging. Be live tomorrow on Twitch. I will see y'all next year. Alright.